the Church of Scientology is so afraid of.
This is SPTV.
Hello, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back to all of you. I always forget to turn down my volume for my phone. Sorry about that. Hope everyone is having a nice evening. Hello, Joe. Shout out to you, our amazing mod, Joe, and Catherine, and everyone else that's joining us tonight. You guys, we had a lot of fun earlier speaking with Miss Laura Anderson, Lara FM, aka Lara FM, you guys. She really has a way to keeping it real. And we are starting with very relaxing vibes, spreading ourselves over and over with rose water, because we do have another media audit to do tonight, you guys. Isn't that great? We thought we were done auditing, but you know, we don't audit people and we don't audit adults in hotel rooms anymore. But we are doing this media audits right here with all of y'all joining us in asking what, you guys? In asking questions, in really sharpening your MF critical thinking skills to go, does that make sense? Because right about now, a ton of shit makes not a shred of sense, you guys. Not a shred. Literally, not even this much of a shred. There. That's how much things are making sense right now, you guys. Really not great. Like just literally this little piece of paper. So this article, as the title explains, the little title of our video is called The Propaganda Rundown, courtesy of at Tampa Bay Times. Hello, Thomas C Tobin of the Tampa Bay Times. How are you doing? How are you doing, Thomas, on this wonderful Saturday? Hope you're doing better than all the kids back at the hotel. Because that we do know. So we already know you're doing so much better than all the kids stuck at the Sandcastle Hotel, all the kids that are stuck at the Fort Harrison, and all the other kids inside of those hotels that are being told as we speak, there's no shred of guardrails that have gone up, you guys. Nothing has changed. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Isn't that great, you guys, that is where we are today, with nothing changing and then nothing changes. Just like that simple, you guys. So yeah, Thomas C Tobin of the Tampa Bay Times that did this little article, and Mr. Thomas C Tobin did not go with the headline that we went with, you guys. He chose another headline for himself. So it's time to audit the editor. Isn't that great, you guys? We're going to audit the editor tonight. So really grab your Mexican lemonade if you have any available to yourself. I still have some left. It's been a long day, you guys. But you know, just relax. Just time is gonna fly, as it's been flying with all of you guys here on these lives. Honestly, like I was just talking to Michael about that. We're like, how in the hell did we just spend 2.5 hours talking to all of you guys? So yes, time flies when you're having fun, And also time flies when you're having to do audits. We would know how time wasn't flying then, you guys, but lucky for us, we have the capacity to fly the time now. So thank you so much for all of you guys that are joining. Lara FM, hello. Grar, Anon, all of you, thank you so much for joining. So are you guys ready to audit? Are you all really ready to audit? Because in this live session, we're going to do a little bit of an unfiltered critique, you guys, as you all like to do here. Keep it real. Put your questions there. We have our wonderful moderator, Joe, that is going to be keeping track of all the good questions that you might want to make, all the good points that you guys all want to make, because you know what? That's what this is all about. A lot of people have very, very good, and in your comments, you guys put all manner of amazing, intelligent comments that open our eyes. And that's what the community is about, right? Like the reason that we feel that we're being seen and heard and understood, and that the problem is not as complicated as it's been, right? Like we literally don't have to solve Sinu for ourselves, you guys. Isn't that great news? That we literally do not have to figure it out. What in the hell? That thing that, like I was saying earlier, L. Ron Hubbard did pull out of his literal ass. In case that wasn't clear to anybody, I mean, if that makes you go crazy, you guys, I mean, maybe that's what L. Ron Hubbard was warning people. Like, yeah, you're going to go crazy if you're not ready to hear that little story. Really going to go crazy. It's what we were being told, you guys. Like, oh, don't hear anything from the OT3, you guys. Oh my God. God forbid you hear a certain word and all of a sudden your brain's going to have conniptions and all of a sudden you could get real sick and all of a sudden, oh my God, so many things can happen to you. Isn't that great, you guys? The little like idiotic, pathetic, little Red Riding Hood stories that we were being told as children. Because you know what? It was very easy to manipulate us as kids, you guys. Breaking news. Breaking news. We're breaking the news tonight that, turns out that adults can manipulate kids real easy. Isn't that great, you guys, that we just figured that out? Because, I think for Thomas C Tobin, it'll be great for him to know that too, tonight. Tonight, he's going to be like, oh, breaking news. Children can be manipulated by adults. Oh, I never saw it like that. Thomas C. Tobin is having a real great cognition for himself, you guys, right about now. Having like, he's almost going to start writing a success story for himself. Oh my God, I never knew that adults could manipulate children. And now that I know that, my life is really making sense. Really making sense a lot. So right about now, Thomas C. Tobin is having a floating needle for himself. Oh yeah, I'm floating. I really figured it all out. Adults can manipulate kids. Well, I'm glad that we're finally on the same MF page. Thomas C. Tobin of the Tampa Bay Times. Glad we are, because you say it's the truth rundown. We say it's the propaganda rundown. You say you don't know what in the hell we're talking about. We say, don't worry about it. Stop getting pressed about it. Sit down and relax, because we're going to explain to you things in very simple MF terms that even you are going to understand. Thomas C. Tobin. Isn't that great, you guys? So we're going to school Thomas C. Tobin and, give him a couple of sharpening of his skills, because the critical thinking skills aren't coming in handy for people at the Tampa Bay Times, you guys. And do subscribe. I had to subscribe today so I could share this article with you. Subscribe because, times are rough at the Tampa Bay Times. Really, times are rough. They really want to donate. Another one of these 501c. You guys really donate, really keep the newspapers, really, without the newspapers, where would we be? Where would we be? And the problem, you guys, is not that the reporters are the problem, right? But it's the same thing in Scientology. It's all the bullshitters at the top that couldn't have their incentives more misaligned if they weren't literally paying themselves to play dumb full time, to literally sabotage, because they only investigate according to what they want to investigate. So really hold on to your seats, because if it's not written by the Tampa Bay Times, Thomas C Tobin, then it must not be true. But if it's written by him, it must be true. It must be real true. When you read it at the Tampa Bay Times, it must be real true. I mean, nothing more real has ever been written than whatever in the hell the Tampa Bay Times has written, you guys. So do go there and subscribe to them. And go ahead and donate to their 501c, because they're also really pressed for donations. Trust me, they were begging me for donations every time I click the button. Oh, donate, please. 501c, really support the newspaper. So all of those corrupt incentives, you guys, lead to the same MF place, where everybody plays dumb and everything is dysfunctional AF. So let's just bring some clarity. Let's make them all go clear, you guys. How about that? Let's all go clear tonight. Literally, let's all go clear. So let's see right here, the truth rundown. And the truth rundown, you guys, is this: once upon a time. So let's go with what the Tampa Bay Times is pitching here. The truth rundown, part 3. And yeah, you guys, I wasn't intending to cover the subject whatsoever tonight. This just literally landed. I don't know how. I was clicking on something and then this thing landed. I'm like, part 3. I'm like, never checked this one out for myself. Interesting. When all of this truth rundown stuff came up, I was still so scared, petrified, you guys, to read this shit because, okay, let me see what Marty Rathbun's saying, but let me see what Mike Rinder's saying. Oh my God, the big executives are talking about maybe something bad happened and maybe not everything was so perfect. So real scared, you guys. We were scared AF. Scared AF. So just fun fact, when all of this was coming out, when me and my then wife were finding out all about this, it wasn't all perfect up there in Happy Valley, as we saw in the RPF, right, guys? The literal RPF, the literal hole, Happy Valley, where that German woman was disappeared. Way before Shelly Miscavige was ever missing. In fact, Shelly, full knowing, knew where in the hell the woman that disappeared before her went. So imagine how much of consent Shelly has given to in the hell what her situation is. How many times did Shelly disappear women? Because that is the question we would like to understand from the LAPD that claims they really found her, even though it couldn't be more shady AF. When in the hell they, oh yeah, but the camera was blurry, but the fingerprint didn't match. I mean, you guys, like, these people don't even try. They just play dumb in front of all of us, and we're just supposed to take it. Just literally like, let's go. Oh yeah, they really did say that they really did find her. So yeah, Shelly, Miss, I will disappear kids out of the state of Florida, and we will all coordinate every single shred of aspect about it. Turns out is missing, you guys. Well, why in the hell is she missing? What type of withholds could Shelly have that she won't be produced? Is she having a very religious experience for herself or what? Because, apparently she is having a very religious experience. What in the hell Shelly is having? So we did have to scratch everything we were going to talk about. And this is a little article that we really need to digest for ourselves because it's actually, coming at the right place at the right time. So the truth rundown part 1, Ecclesiastical Justice. Oh my God, you guys. Ecclesiastical Justice. Thomas C Tobin is definitely going for the Image Laundry Award. It's going to be a Tide box, Thomas C Tobin, filled with Tide. Just literally Tide. Just like a little small box. The ones that you guys buy at the dollar store. Literally those, you guys. Just here's your Tide box, Thomas C Tobin, for the best image laundry service in the world. Because incoming is little Marty Rathbun and little Mikey Rinder. Like literally, you guys, like, what the hell are they doing in the river? Are they literally like fishing? Like, what are you fishing for over there, guys? Are you fishing for compliments, perhaps? Because you know what? Your shirt couldn't have landed you at the bottom of the Walmart version of GQ. Literally. But apparently, Marty's having a jolly old time, you guys. Real smiley right there. I mean, let's make this bigger for you guys to really see. Like, I mean, what is going on with Marty, you guys? He's just like so ecstatic. He's by the river, Mike Rinder, if we have to really analyze his body, let's just analyze it, you guys. Let's analyze Mike Rinder's body posture is what they say. Yeah. Right away, I'd say you look a little stiff, Mike Rinder. What the hell are you so stiff? And Marty Rathbun's like, couldn't be more relaxed with my hands in my pocket. I mean, you guys, I literally laughed out loud when I saw this image because I was just like, this is just too funny. This is just literally too funny that these two are here at the Tampa Bay Times ready to launder their image with how the hell these two are the two that you would really tap for ecclesiastical. Get ready, you guys, for ecclesiastical justice. You're going to tap these two. These two clowns right here. Ecclesiastical. They couldn't have been more ecclesiastical if they tried. If they literally tried, it's just nothing says ecclesiastical like going down the river and really smiling and really looking stiff AF. But they did get a little smirk out of Mike Rinder, but it's like you can tell. Yes, you can tell. Never mind that. You'll find from literal Marty Rathbun how, Mike Rinder was his little bitch, you guys. Little Mike Rinder was just literally whatever Marty Rathbun said, he'd go and do real quick. Lapdog. That's kind of what they called it in there. It's like they're just kind of all lapdogs of each other, but you know what? They were the high executives. So they did feel they were very important in these buildings that they did buy for themselves, you guys. Trust me, these guys thought they made it. They were multi-millionaires of a 501c, of which they were owners of nothing other than slaves. We'll give them that. So I'm sorry, you guys. I'm spending way too much time on this photo, but it's just, I don't think anything has made me laugh more than this photo in a long time. So here. So this article about the truth rundown of ecclesiastical justice, you guys. So really hold on to your seats and buckle up your seatbelts because you're really going to learn about what ecclesiastical justice is all about, you guys. In one article, of the Tampa Bay Times, we're all going to learn ecclesiastical justice, you guys. I mean, literally, you guys, I'll give you all a certificate by the end. If you make it through this live, I know I go long for a long time. Maybe it'll be 3 hours, you guys. But at the end of 3 hours, guess what? You will all go with your own certificates of ecclesiastical justicers. Isn't that great? You will all know everything about ecclesiastical justice. So let's see what we can learn, you guys. Let's really see. So first of all, this story was originally published in June 23, 2009 edition of the then SP Times as part of the Truth Rundown series. Isn't that great, you guys? The SP Times, who we did get told ad nauseum inside of the hotel by Debbie Cook. Oh, you guys, the SP Times, they couldn't be more suppressive, you guys. They couldn't be more wanting to destroy the only salvation for all mankind. I'm sorry, you guys. All salvation for all mankind is at the hands of the SP Times. And then, yes, I mean, of course, the SP Times, like, we are thinking SP, like L. Ron Hubbard did write SP. So, like, in the middle of that conspiracy theory, you guys, like, in what world were you going to think as a child inside of the hotel? You're told the SP Times they're really horrible people that you would never want to have anything to do with. And then they did go defunct, you guys. So they did shut down the SP Times, Scientology. Because for a while, believe you me, they were very, very like, you know, rivals, like really going to destroy each other. And then the SP Times died. So now it says the Tampa Bay Times. And back to June 2023, 2009, you guys. So for all of you who are really thinking that a lot has changed, that we have made so much progress, you guys, like literally so much progress inside of these hotels. Because going back to the original point, there's not even a single shred of guard rails that have been instituted anywhere inside the hotel since we MF left. Nothing. Nothing to kids. Nothing whatsoever. Nothing has changed. They're all exposed to the exact same things that we all go on here ad nauseum. Like if you saw Kelly Copter, I mean, she just posted the most, one of the most like, I mean, you guys have to go see it. I was there with Bianca as a child. Bianca was Debbie Cook's slave for 4 years as a minor. So when I told you guys that Debbie Cook liked them young, I wasn't just like L. Ron Hubbard pulling that out of my ass. So just so that that's very MF clear, Debbie Cook, where in the hell are you hiding in Texas cashing checks to shut the F up about everything because I didn't have any slaves? You left with $100K in your pocket, Debbie Cook. And then you came back and wrote your little drifty email like, oh yeah, let's really grift over here. Let's really get us a little lawsuit going so that I can really get a settlement. Because the minute I go on the stand and admit that I would have admitted that I loved killing babies and loved it. Oops, did I say the wrong thing? Oops, did I ever send women to, you know, do a little procedure, Debbie Cook? Did you ever send anyone like that? Apparently under oath, you're already on the stand admitting that you were willing to admit all manner of stuff. It's not great, you guys, that she's just so willing to admit. We have it on you, Debbie Cook. We have it on video. We got our receipts in order. We're not talking out of our ass like Thomas C Tobin. We're not doing that. So just a little FYI for all of you guys that are really thinking, Serge, you really went hard on Debbie Cook. Because yes, you guys, look at when that content was released months ago. We talked about Debbie Cook. We talked about all the celebrity enablers. We talked about Elizabeth Moss being out of her literal mind, playing a little handmaid that has nothing to do with the Sea Org, that has nothing to do with what she was a part of a culture, that has nothing to do with nobody knows anything. There's no coincidences because, she really is Lizzie doing the real role that she has no shred of a clue. So again, you guys, there's already everything there. And Debbie Cook couldn't be more implicated in all of this. So as much as everyone's saying, oh, and Mike Rinder, why are you going so hard on him? We're not going hard on nobody. Get that through your head. These are the people that were doing the thing at the time that they were doing it. That is the only way that we can speak to the facts. And just because Debbie Cook got help from Tampa Bay Times to launder her image, to really go, oh, what did David do to you? Okay. Sure. Okay. Okay, great. You know what? We're making a lot of money with your story. Oh, yeah, we're about to catch another check for the Tampa Bay Times. We're going to stay alive. Thank God. Another year. Another year for our 501c whatever. All grifting from the pain of all the stories that they have written for themselves, you guys. So thank God we're subscribers, because we're going to audit every single last shred of your coverage. Thomas C Tobin, all of it. Now that we have a membership to your stupid newspaper, we literally want to audit every last shred of line you have been already putting on the public record. Let's really audit you right now. The 4 high-ranking executives who left Scientology say that the church leader, David Miscavige, not only physically attacked members of his executive staff, that he messed with their mind. Interesting, you guys. Very, very interesting that the very high-ranking AF executives that couldn't be more at the top of the pyramid scheme of abuse than anyone else. But, they were really attacked physically, and they really had their minds messed with. Well, I'm glad we have that admission from y'all. I'm really, really glad that that admission is on the public record, that your minds couldn't have been more messed with, because y'all were in charge of the kids. Let's not forget. All of you with very specific functions. Debbie Cook, very specific things she did, you guys. Was Mike Rinder recruiting minors? No. Did he bring a minor from the streets into his hotels? No. Did Debbie Cook do that? Yes. One was the captain of the hotel. The other one was handling the PR of the hotel. So different roles, different oversight, different things that they were doing and implicating themselves in. Because L. Ron Hubbard, their little daddy figure that really pulled everything out of his ass, really set them up perfectly so that nobody could act confused by the time the FBI investigation came around. Isn't that great, you guys? That he literally left them a blueprint with what they called the org board, you guys. This is going to save planet Earth real quick. I'm L. Ron Hubbard here, 7 divisions. I'm so smart. I really know what in the hell I'm talking about. Well, yeah, L. Ron Hubbard, you do know what in the hell you're talking about, because with your org board, anyone with 2 brain cells, you guys can figure out exactly what Debbie Cook was doing and exactly what she was in charge of. So it's not just like, oh, Serge, you're making all manner of allegations. How dare you again, Debbie Cook, that you thought that you left us there on the road as roadkill. No. We're not roadkill. We figured you the F out, and now we're putting all of these little connecting dots together because we couldn't be more disgusted. Every time I see one of these stories, you guys, and again, yeah, it does piss me off, just like Streets LA, you guys, just when he's yelling and screaming at the traffickers. But what? We're the bigots? We are the bigots. Because what? We're interfering with what exactly? Well, everyone knows in that street corner very well, you guys, as they didn't even meet 4 kids that grew up in Scientology that were there literally last night. And those were the ones that were there. Then other 100 were watching that we were there. And we were representing their voice for them there, letting them know this is what was done to them, FYI. This is what the problem is, FYI. These are the people that need to start answering the MF questions real quick, FYI. I mean, imagine in all of this advocacy, you guys, no one's implicating the parents whatsoever. So how in the hell did any kids end up inside of the hotel? And, you know, before anybody really goes like, oh my God, yeah, well, you know, real quick, you guys, I'm sorry, but I really have to, because this really like, it was actually perfect. And I love getting these comments. Childhood indoctrination is the biggest reason religions live on. It would be great if we could outlaw religious indoctrination of all children to make those choices as adults, but that is not realistic and won't ever happen. And here's our answer on the community lines. Unfortunately for us, things that an indicted, convicted felon, L. Ron Hubbard, you guys, and again, we're not just saying that because we know we can't say that if he wasn't convicted and indicted in absentia in France and literally took off on a ship with literal testimony of David Miscavige and all manner of minors, Shelly Miscavige, and then David, and all of them being trafficked themselves by who? Don't say L. Ron Hubbard, you guys. That is the wrong MF answer. And if you said the parents, oh, bingo. Put that on your little card, you guys. Literally put bingo. Scratch that off right there real quick. Real MF quick. Just scratch that off. Oh, it was the parents and you got the right answer. If you said it was L. Ron Hubbard, no. Who brought the kids inside that ship? They didn't walk there by themselves. Somebody was pitching to them the garbage these people are pitching in that street corner, seeing how many people they can stick their fangs inside. So literally, that is the problem. Unfortunately for us, things that an indicted, convicted felon pulled out of his literal ass to supersede all laws is not a religious experience. Moreover, false imprisonment is a felony. The regurgitated ad nauseum narrative that this was a religion is literally the most BS pitch ever put together. A racketeering scheme is not a religion. Technology is not theology. They are not interchangeable. Period. Full MF stop. So we're having a conversation about Scientology, you guys. Scientology is audits. Again, breaking news for nobody that understands what in the hell we are talking about. What are you talking about? Audits, Serge? Are you talking about Audit LA? Are you talking street audit? No, we're talking about what Scientology is offering its people, audits. And those audits are false imprisonment because L. Ron Hubbard wrote it in a book, literally pulled out of his ass, lock up a person against their will and tell them it's therapeutic. And all of a sudden, all of his proteges really ran with that pitch. Isn't that great, you guys? That is all it took for someone to pull something out of his ass, write it on a piece of paper, and then everyone's, oh, what a great idea. What a great idea to park our critical thinking skills like L. Ron Hubbard really is telling us outside the door. So whatever we do inside, we're just... What in the hell are you doing inside of those hotels? Scientology people, all of you, start answering, everybody. Stop trying to curate your image. Oh, we're not going to tell you about audits because you wouldn't understand it unless you've done them. Well, lucky for us, and nauseatingly enough for us, disgusted enough as we are, because we did not consent to be stuck inside of that hotel, Debbie Cook, after all that fake propaganda that you told us, oh yeah, these sessions are really going to help you, and aren't you so lucky to be my slave? Aren't you so lucky that I'm going to send you to do sessions and invoice you so I can dead bondage you? Oh yeah, you guys don't think that they were locking us up, interrogating us, and not charging us. There was an invoice for every single time we were getting interrogated on top of everything. And that's what in the hell, as gullible, naive, idiot children that we were, we're like, well, if I'm paying for this $500 an hour, it couldn't be that I'm getting scammed. So we would love to understand that from you, Debbie Cook, next time you cash your little check at the bank to shut the F up. Real quick for yourself, why were kids being invoiced, including but not limited to up to $500 per hour to get locked up in one of your disgusting hotels with one of your disgusting protege L. Ron Hubbard auditors that can do whatever in the hell they want? Yes, you guys, that is what in the hell they were having me do there. All day, all MF night, Monday to Monday, no holidays, nothing. Just produce, make money. Come on, get your ethics in, produce. Complaining, case on post? Shut the F up and make us money. That's how those hotels run. So by all means, tell us how they didn't run like that. Because that's what's on the public record. Everything's so ecclesiastical, and yeah, you know, we couldn't have been more ecclesiastical. Mike Rinder and Marty Rathbun, the two high school dropout kids that were trafficked there by their parents. So if you have a problem with it in the hell, I'm saying, Mike Rinder, take that up with your parents, yourself. That's what we're doing. Y'all were our parents back then. So all the other people that are, false equivalent, Serge, you calling out another kid that was abused. F that. F that. I'm sorry. Mike Rinder can take whatever in the hell he wants with his own parents. We are taking this on with our own parents, as if I don't call out my own parents, you guys. I'm not discriminating. I'm not anything. I'm telling Mike Rinder needs to answer questions. My parents need to answer questions. Every last shred of parent and executive needs to answer questions. But instead of answering questions, they're out there playing dumb. And it is the year 2024. And where in the hell is the abysmal transparency that's come up if all we get is these regurgitated narratives from Thomas C Tobin about how they're being very ecclesiastical in there, and they really know what in the hell they're talking about. And then the first thing that comes out of Thomas C Tobin's typing is that they were not only physically attacked members of his executive staff, but that he also messed up with their minds. And all of these executives were what, you guys? In charge of kids, overseeing kids, the welfare of kids, and they were out of their minds. Okay, well, that's great. He frequently had groups of managers jump into a pool or lake. I mean, you guys see this for yourself with the advertisers of the Tampa Bay Times, you guys. Shout out to AMC Advertising and the Tampa Bay Times. Advertise away, AMC. We don't give a shred of an F about your movies, since you couldn't be more disgustingly implicated with Hollywood, which couldn't be more disgustingly implicated with Scientology, because it all is breathing and being bred right here, you guys. So all of these people are just literally being called out. He frequently had groups of managers jump into a pool or lake. He mustered them into group confessions that sometimes spanned into free-for-alls with people hitting one another. So these are the executives, the ones that by their own admission could have not been more out of their MF mind to be doing what in the hell they were doing. This is their own words. This is where, they really did leave the threshold of the hotel and did go, you know what we really need to do? Talk about how, this is outrageous. How did this happen to us? How did we get thrown in a lake? I mean, sadistic AF. Yeah. But also pathetic. Pathetic. You were all grown adults. You were all board members of the upper echelon of whatever in the hell 501c y'all said you were part of. And so far from this record, all you remember and all you really went to think to, talk to the Tampa Bay Times was, apparently you guys were really having really big problems. Mike Rinder, who defended the church to the media for 2 decades. There you go, you guys. Mike Rinder, not me saying it, the Tampa Bay Times, here it goes. Who is doing the PR for the church, you guys? Who's sanitizing all of what is going on inside of that hotel, Mike Rinder? Because right about now, for the Tampa Bay Times, Thomas C Tobin, if you don't want to be called out, then call Thomas C Tobin real quick and be like, hey, why did you say that I did the PR for the church for 2 literal decades and you weren't goo goo gaga then? So don't come and tell us, oh, but I was so goo goo gaga. You were a full-grown adult wearing your little fake military uniform, putting bars and military things on you to really walk around Hollywood. I mean, you guys, honestly, to really walk around Hollywood with a straight face, with a straight full-blown, we're really going to save the planet today. I mean, in what literal world were you? And what have your actions cost? Because the numbers aren't adding up, and neither are the receipts, Mike Rinder, because you were the PR. Defended the church to the media for 2 decades. Working with editors, working with magazines, working with headlines, working with how do we sanitize this? How do we clean that up? How do we pitch this? I mean, as if you don't know how PR works. As if you weren't doing L. Ron Hubbard's PR. As if you weren't figuring out how to pitch him to the public. That you can really start answering how you and Marty Rathbun and all of y'all came up with a real nice pitch to pitch your little daddy figure as, Wonder Man. Oh, isn't he great, you guys? Let's really do a museum all about L. Ron Hubbard. That was your idea, Mike Rinder, so it wasn't our idea. We were too busy doing the dirty work that L. Ron Hubbard was having us do for you. So I wasn't doing PR in there. I was interrogating people and laundering felonies. Not great. Isn't that great that my parents paid for that? Because that was also very great. That my parents couldn't be more implicating paying for me to do that at age 12. So whatever little transaction they and Debbie Cook did should really be getting investigated, you guys. But it doesn't get investigated because who in the shred cares anything? Right? Parents pay for that. I mean, who are we to tell a parent? Well, yeah, because that's the level of glibness of Thomas C. Tobin. He's never cracked open a book of L. Ron Hubbard, you guys. I mean, imagine being this person that really wants to write a story And you cannot even explain why in the first book that this man wrote, literally normalizing to all his proteges that took everything serious AF, as it's already in the rhetoric. It's not our opinion of how they are, you guys, is what's in the MF rhetoric. That is what in the hell we're talking about. We don't give a shred of an F about anyone. This isn't a case where, oh, everybody did something different and we don't know. This is not a case where, oh, it's the Catholic Church and it is very confusing because, you know, in the rhetoric, it didn't say to lock someone against their will and double down if they wanted to leave and triple down if they complain and quadruple down if they were having a mental breakdown. Isn't that great? The difference between theology and technology. Because to me, it's really great, you guys. To me, I really do see like, oh, got it. So this one you apply like a robot, technology. And this one, you know, you have the plausible deniability. Oh, well, you know, the birds and the trees. And then these people, never mind that we find out that then they interpret things in various ways, but there's nothing you can prove. There's no receipt. Like, how are you going to prove that all of them were out of their mind in the Mormon church? How are you going to prove that? How can you tell me that everybody's just, no, you can't make that case. Why? Because how are you going to make a case without a shred of a receipt? But here, you guys, Elvin Hubbard wanted his proteges to literally be known like this is exactly how out of their mind they are. No. Take it literally. Take it literally. Oh, no. Don't complain. We'll send you to ethics faster than your head could spin. And who would send you to ethics? Oh, Marty Rathbun. Marty Rathbun, the ecclesiastical expert of ecclesiastical justice matters, that he really learned how to say ecclesiastical, and that's all it took. All it took. Never mind that it was a hotel. Never mind that the rhetoric called for felony commission in a hotel. Because yes, Thomas C Tobin, you pitched to us the kids that were stuck in there, how we were not being false imprisoned. Because that's your job now. Make the case how we were not that. Because that would be very, very interesting to really learn from a major editor of a major newspaper that really knows that as soon as you say the word ecclesiastical, you guys, critical thinking skills just go clack, 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 clack. Oh, can't think, can't. Oh, convicted, indicted felon wrote it, but you know, he is an American-bred God, and he did do something ecclesiastical here. So let's type it up real quick for ourselves. The tactics to keep executives in line are wrong from a Scientology viewpoint, said Rinder. Eek. Eek. You guys, this little article about the truth is sounding a little propaganda, Mike Rinder, because the tactics to keep the executives in line are wrong from a Scientology viewpoint. Quote from Mike Rinder by Thomas C Tobin. Quote. So that's great. So can you tell us from the Scientology viewpoint how it could have all been really handled? Because that would be great for you to start making that case, Mike Rinder. Please, by all means, enlighten us as the big top expert that you are. In what world applying more rhetoric of the convicted, indicted felon that told you to park your critical thinking skills at the door was really going to solve anything for y'all? Because if you can make that make sense to us now that we are adults in adult bodies, then we'll just acknowledge at least your pitch. But good luck making it make sense, because it has to make sense. So yeah, the tactics to keep executives in line, you guys, are wrong from a Scientology viewpoint, says Rinder, who walked away 2 years ago. Not great, you guys. Just walked away. Just little stroll for himself. you should really check out Kelly Copter's latest video, Mike Rinder. So you can really start, refreshing your memory how kids were literally you guys having to do this that we're not even going to say to really leave. That is how desperate we were. So it's nice that you, in your mid-50s, really got to, stroll out of the hotel. Never mind you left your kids there. Never mind you left the OSA office that you funded yourself with your little mastermind, with your little, let's really do a PR office and let's really do an intelligence arm and let's really, apply all this stuff about destroying everyone's lives because I really know what in the hell I'm doing. And as long as I do this that L. Hubbard did teach me to do, then I'll really be saving the world all by myself and my little buddy Marty and my little buddy Davey. And aren't we such little cutie patooties in our little military fake uniform? They are not standard practice of Scientology. They are just not humanitarian. And they are just outright evil, says Mike Rinder. Isn't that great, you guys? Humanitarian. That's what we're going with. They are just not humanitarian. So what in the hell was humanitarian about having kids locked up against their will, Mike Rinder? That is Scientology. The thing you purport that if we all would have just been doing more of that, we really would have been, really well served. Because right about now, make that make sense in reverse. In this year 2024. This year 2024, they've had plenty of time to really process your trauma. That's what some of us have had to do in order to connect a shred of receipt. You guys don't think that, we were connecting everything the minute we walked out ourselves. So we don't give a shred of an F what you've done before. As of the years 2024, nothing has changed inside those hotels. Those are the facts. And if you think that a lot has changed, by all means, start telling us what in the hell really changed as your kids are still stuck at the hotel, as your son is still married to my underage cousin, Jackie Rodriguez, that is stuck at the hotel still. Isn't that great? That our families are enmeshed because we were both stuck at those hotels that Mike Rinder propped up with his little friend Marty Rathbun and his little friend Davey, that they were all about 501Cs and really figuring out boards and really figuring out corporate structures, you guys. As long as we pay Monique a lot of money and as long as we really hear what in the hell they're saying, even though we don't have a shred of a clue what in the hell we're doing. But that's what's great about con men, right, guys? Con men have confidence, a ton of confidence. Well, you know what? They were not lacking that. Neither little Davey nor little Marty or little Marky Poo had any problems with confidence. They couldn't be more confident about what in the hell they were pitching. Well, double check on that confidence now, Mike Rinder, David Miscavige, and Marty Rathbun, the co-founders of this BS, the literal co-founders. I'm sure there's more co-founders. I don't know what in the hell Guillaume Leserve did. I don't know what in the hell Mark Yeager, whatever in the hell, I don't give an F. I know that you three are right now hyper implicated in everything you've already blabbed out of your own mouth on the record. We don't know what in the hell Guillaume is doing because he's still stuck there, being very loyal to the cause of saving the world. So far we have, you are the co-founders of this MF disgusting hotel sham 501c operation. And yes, Mike Rinder, you, the board member that doesn't have a shred of a clue how boards work. Meanwhile, apparently you do have a shred of a clue, but you play dumb real well when it's convenient. Isn't that great, you guys? When it's convenient, all about it. Oh, I didn't know. I was born in a cult too. You guys, I couldn't have been more of a child. if I didn't spend 4 decades inside of the hotel climbing all the way to the top until David started throwing us in pools. Church spokesmen confirm that managers are ordered into pools and assembled for group confessions. It's part of the ecclesiastical justice system. The church imposes on poor performers, you guys, with a literal straight face. With a literal straight face, you guys. Oh, yeah, that's what we do here. Just poor performance, shove him in a pool. So you can start understanding how, again, the type of managers we were in, you guys, like as if they're not out of their mind on their own admissions that are already in the MF public record. So yes, this is not the story about Sinu. I'm sure this one wasn't so great to really stick around. But right about now, it's not making a shred of sense. And right about now, we're really hearing how, everything went awry because they weren't applying L. Ron Hubbard. Isn't that great, you guys? And Thomas C Tobin, the idiot that he is, the Mr. Zero Due Diligence that he is, the Mr. I want to cash a quick check and type whatever in the hell these people tell me, because usually they don't want to talk, and now I'm getting 4 of them. Well, aren't you lucky, Thomas? Aren't you lucky that you got 4 of them to open their mouth to you, and you couldn't have investigated your way out of a literal paper bag? Because again, you guys, Marty Rathbun, give it up to him. Mike Rinder, give it up to him. Debbie Cook, give it up to her. That did train us how to investigate, to get to the bottom of shit. They did teach us that in the hotel. And we had a gun pointed to our head. Heaven forbid we let anything slide. Because remember, we were adults. Oh yeah, don't miss that masturbation withhold. Heaven forbid that happens. We will have your throat sliced. With ecclesiastical justice, you'll be doing a committee of evidence. You'll be doing court of ethics. You'll be doing all these bullshit words for these infantilized BS adult games that they really purport were really a religious experience that we were all having for our damn selves. We're pushing back on all of that BS, literally. Rinder and the other defectors couldn't cut it in the tough world of Scientology's Sea Org, a group whose members dedicate their lives to service of the church. The church. Again, you guys, I mean, ecclesiastical church, ecclesiastical church, ecclesiastical church. And then we really are doing great coverage at the Tampa Bay Times. Rather than accept their own failings, the defectors are putting a sinister twist on something that is normal. I mean, as if literally L. Ron Hubbard didn't normalize that for yourself, Mike Rinder. And you were just counting on the idiot of Thomas C. Tobin just regurgitating whatever in the hell you told him, since he wasn't going to double check on the L. Ron Hubbard courses that you were doing and all the other policies that you're really instituting to, prop up all of this. Because you really want to call David the very out technology one that really, he altered L. Ron Hubbard. Well, I'm sure David has a technology policy he could cite for shoving you in a pool. And you would know that, since you would be familiar with the FOs. Remember the FOs from L. Ron Hubbard? All those little memos that only Sea Org members could read so that everybody really thought they were stuck in a ship? Those? Oh yeah, you guys, don't think that L. Ron Hubbard, that as much as Marty Rathbun and Mikey Rinder, we're going Davy. He was so out of his mind. No, David has his reasons and his policies. Hand-selected. L. Ron Hubbard said, throw overboard people that are causing problems. And then all of a sudden, they didn't have a ship, but they just threw him in a pool. So couldn't be more ecclesiastical. Again, following the writings, the rants, things that a man pulled out of his literal ass, to these people that couldn't have been more goo gaga to really help themselves, truly. Because once again, co-founders of Scientology, Marty Rathbun, Mike Rinder, David Miscavige, including but not limited to, let's just say that, you guys, allegedly included but not limited to all of y'all executives, high executives, Debbie Cook, who in the hell knows where the hell Debbie Cooks falls into this whole board of directors of this corporations. We got 1 million corporations going, and that's all it's taken, you guys, to hide all of this trafficking of minors. Because lawyers could not be more bamboozled by throwing at them some sham corporation thing that they really have to figure out the ins and outs of the corporations. And you know what? As of the year 2024, there's not been a lawyer that has dismantled this disgusting 501c scam. And that is a fact. The fact is, everyone's still going with whatever Thomas is pitching here. They're very ecclesiastical, church, ecclesiastical, church. So no one can do a shred of a thing because no one can have a shred of a critical thinking skill for themselves. Imagine, Thomas C Tobin, that you're not under the L. Ron Hubbard spell, but yet you still play dumb like the rest of these clowns. So before you really think you're so different, you're probably just about the same. Another scammer and a schemer, and somebody that doesn't know what in the hell to do his job, or somebody that writes shit that literally ages like rotten eggs. Because again, that is not our MF opinion, Thomas C Tobin. That is the fact. This article right here could not be more smelling like a rotten egg right about now, as all of these things are being admitted on the public record, you guys. This is already something that's been out for over a decade. The Sea Org is a crew of tough sons of bitches. You guys, you guys can all see it there. It's literally written as a quote. Said church spokesman Tommy Davis, an 18-year veteran of the group. Tommy Davis, unhinged Tommy Davis, son of an archer. Another one of these kids that grew up in Scientology that couldn't have been more filled with daddy issues, wanting to really prove himself to all of these pathetic clowns wearing fake military uniforms, purporting that in the hell they're doing inside of the hotel could have not been more legal. The only thing that's happened, you guys, is that whatever in the hell they were doing was not having a shred of oversight. And their attorneys on retainer as of today still have literally pretended that it's totally okay, that they have no shred of a clue what in the hell's going on. But yeah, sons of bitches is what their spokesperson is referring to the Sea Org. Not just Marty Rathbun, not just Mike Rinder. And believe you me, that's how in the hell they were treating us. We had to be tough sons of bitches, or otherwise our throats would be sliced. This is not just them hyperbolizing. This is the mentality of people wearing fake uniforms, role-playing that they really are saving the world themselves over everyone else, you guys. And that's where you're getting all these people outside of the testing centers where you see that glaze of whatever. Yeah, because they think they're better than everyone else. They're looking at you and literally thinking you're filth, you're disgusting, you don't know what in the hell you're talking about. That's the L. Ron Hubbard protege. We are the homo novus. You are a disgusting person that if you're not with us, we'd rather have you dead than incapable. If you're not in our group, you couldn't be more disgusting and pathetic, and we want nothing to do with you. The Sea Org is not a democracy. The members of it agree with a man named L. Ron Hubbard that they abide by his policies and they will follow them to the T, to the letter, to the punctuation marks. And if you disagree with that and you don't like it, you don't belong. You leave. You guys, this is a official quote from Tommy Davis telling you and corroborating what we have told you ad nauseum. But, all of you could have maybe thought, well, maybe Sir just do the letter. I mean, I'm sure that there were exceptions. I'm sure that not every... The Sea Org is not a democracy. The members of it agree with a man named L. Ron Hubbard, convicted, indicted felon, that they will abide to his policies and will follow to the T, to the letter, to the punctuation marks. And if you disagree with that, and you don't like it, then you don't belong. And then you just leave. Leave. Isn't that great, Tommy Davis? So tell us how Bianca was really wanting to leave. So that would be great to understand. If she didn't like it, why did she not just leave? Why does she have to do this? Because plenty of other minors on the record having to do this to leave your hotels. So it's not true that if you just didn't really like it, then you could just, okay, guys. Yeah, it's been fun, but no, where are you going? You got your passport, it's locked up. You got to get interrogated. You got to go to a writing form. You got to sit in that room. You got to shut the F up. You got to clean bathrooms with muriatic acid. You got to get abused, tortured, shat on until, did you change your mind after doing the handling? Oh, no. Okay. Well, we still want to extend your sec check. We still want to interrogate you some more. There's more things that we can find, I'm sure, withholds, just lock you up for a few more 100 hours against your will. And all of a sudden, you really want to stay. Oh, yeah. You know what? I really realized that, I really wanted to save the world by, continuing to be these people's sons of bitches. To quote Tommy Davis, you guys, to quote sons of bitches. How in the hell we were tough sons of bitches. So even the kids, you guys, that's what it was. Get your ethics in. No case on post. So by all means, Mike Rinder, since you ran this shit, do explain to people why. Do explain that. And don't tell us that L. Ron Hubbard, because in what world did you not know the condition of that pathetic, degenerate, dying, crazy out of his mind, and then came up with pitches and museums, and let's really lift up his whatever, and let's really, talk to the best PR crisis managers that we can get a hold of. Oh, yeah, we're having ourselves a little problem here, a little PR, a little perception problem. Oh, yeah, my name is Mike Rinder, and yeah, we have a lot of money. Oh, yeah, we get a ton of donations. Oh, don't worry. Oh, yeah, $50,000 a month. Done. We're sending the wire to you real quick. Oh, yeah, you guys don't think that for that kind of stuff they were going to, not pay. Because that's what the investment was. They've invested in PR and legal. If they don't have PR and they don't have legal, then what in the hell they have? Because we would love to understand right about now. You don't have a hotel because you purport that you're not a hotel. You purport that you are a church, but you do have a hotel. So that could really also, maybe get clarified by y'all and start really typing why hotels and churches are interchangeable, IRS commissioner, because right about now, it ain't making a literal shred of sense. No sense, you guys. This is what you call in an investigation. Outpoint. Makes no sense. Equals lies. Equals camouflage. Equals posturing with their little friend that they really have been doing stories for 20 years. Or yeah, Mike Rinder that really had his relationships with all the top people in the news media, you guys. I mean, as if he wasn't rubbing shoulders with the best publicist he could pay to give him attention and to help him and to mentor him. Isn't that great, Mike Rinder, that you were so outward facing as you have been telling everybody that you were hobnobbing with the top publicists and the top lawyers and the top of the top, because you really did have a lot of money, not yours, idiotically enough. You had no shred of sense to your name, but you really thought you did. That's what the problem was, because you really thought you were luxurious and top Italian suits, you guys. I mean, they might have been thrown in pools, but they were wearing the best of the best. So don't forget that they weren't being thrown in rags. Don't get that twisted about Debbie Cook. She had great little clothes to get put in a trash can when she did end up in that trash can. And so did Mike Rinder, and so did Marty Rathbun, and so did all the executives, because that was the trade, you guys. Feel special. Have your slaves. Yes, you have all of that for yourself. Help yourself to it. You don't got to pay them. We'll figure out all of the HR. We'll outsource it over here. All these other enablers will handle it for you. So you don't have to worry about that. You just worry about the PR, Mike Rinder. You just worry about making all the appointments with all the top PR firms that can really tell us how to get out of this crisis that we have for ourselves, as we literally smell like we shot ourselves in public, but you walk around like you couldn't be more unaware. A better Thetan. The order came out at 10 p.m. on winter night. Report to the swimming pool. From around the church's postcard, pretty base, is the mountain east of Los Angeles. Some 70 staff members turned out in their Navy-style uniforms. There you go, you guys. Just so you don't think that when we say that they role-played in these pathetic military fake uniforms, stolen valor fake uniforms, that they really took serious for themselves. Oh yeah, I really am a captain. I really am that important to really saving this entire galaxy. David Miscavige was unhappy with the troops. Again, with the troops, you guys, troops. So yes, military style troops. The punishment the leader had in mind was not new to members in the Sea Org. Hubbard, the church's late founder, overboarded Sea Org members in the 1970s when he ran Scientology from a ship named the Apollo. Well, isn't that great, you guys? Like we told you, this was not David's idea. This had been pitched by L. Ron Hubbard, that everybody thought was an American bred god, that everybody really thought that he just really was full of great ideas, including but not limited to this genius idea that I would love to understand how he didn't pull that one out of his ass, you guys, because that would be nice to understand. In what world were you really accomplishing world peace and humanitarian purposes by shoving adults in pools as cruel, unusual punishments? because perhaps that's the part of the ecclesiastical that we're not really understanding for ourselves right about now. Miscavige had the staffers line up in the diving board in their uniforms, and one by one jumped into the pool. Before each person went in, Norman Starkey, another one of these co-founders, you guys, alleged, once the captain of the Apollo. Oh, look, one that was actually literally just named as, co-conspirator of L. Ron Hubbard, trafficking minors, Biddy and Janice, so far that we know of. But there's plenty of other photographs where minors are literally photographed in that boat where they were being trafficked by this L. Ron Hubbard, who was literal Jeffrey Epstein on crack and steroids himself, you guys. As if L. Ron Hubbard didn't like them young. As if he didn't surround himself with all the youngest in his Commodore's messenger. And if his proteges that really took him serious, and they were going to really clean the world and really make it a better place, didn't institute that little same policy for themselves. Isn't that great, you guys? So yeah, let's surround ourselves with young, gorgeous girls and boys that are really going to be our slaves and call us sir. And tremble when we get into an office because we're so filled with our power trip, with our fake military uniform. And as much as they want to purport that it was only David, the only one, you guys, it couldn't be more ridiculous what in the hell they're trying to pitch, as if they're not trying to launder and use the media to get what in the hell they want. See, that's how they've always worked, these people. They always get what they want. And then the media was a pawn in their scheme this time. Isn't that great? We cannot commit. Miscavige had the staffers. He recited a traditional Sea Org saying, "We commit your sins and errors to the deep and trust you will rise a better Satan." And again, you guys, I have to say, because I got pushed back, it's like, don't call him infantilized, Serge. That is infantilized. That is what you call infantile AF. In what world are the top executives of a very ecclesiastical thing really lining up at a pool with a board while all their kids are stuck in, God knows where in the hell they are? God knows where in the hell their kids are. They couldn't be more clueless, since they are in some remote ranch in an Indian reservation where all manner of stuff was taking place. That doesn't make a shred of sense as an ecclesiastical, churchy thing that all kids were experiencing for themselves. Turns out, you guys, and watch Children of Scientology, because Mike Brown has already really dug into the weeds of the whole cadet org situationship. And if that is not literal textbook trafficking of minors, we would love to understand that too. Mike Rinder and Marty Rathbun, we would love to understand that right about now. Actually, right now would be a great time to really start, putting your little brains to use, since you are really great writers and all, and really start typing pitches to see what sticks this time. Because, let's really see what you can have actually stick. Miscavige ordered the group to go to an office in their wet clothes and stay put until they figured out where they had failed. Tom Devocht says that he can't recall with angered Miscavige that chilly night early in the 2005, but he will remembers the doubts that crept into his head as he sat wet and shivering. Well, you guys, this is a man that's not really talked about enough anymore because he really did go under the radar and all. But over here, he wasn't going under the radar. Over here, he was front and center. Over here, he was another one of the clique of besties. as if it wasn't Tom Devocht, as if it wasn't Davey, as if it wasn't Marty, as if it wasn't Mikey. All of them together, all of them senior executives, all of them slave owners of minors. And yes, they were kids. Once upon a time, they were the kids. But you know what? These kids, turns out, where their parents did traffic them, they got real thirsty and hungry for the power for themselves. So they thought, F this, L. Ron Hubbard is my daddy. Let me real go into this and let me real like get up to the highest levels that I can climb and show that I'm willing to do whatever. It doesn't matter. I'll do it. What do you want? We'll do it. Real quick, we'll do it. So yeah, Tom Devocht, that really ran the CMO, Tom Devocht, which doesn't put you in any kind of good place. The CMO would be the place that was most infested with kids. 85% of these messengers, you guys, were underage, young kids. They couldn't have liked them younger if that wasn't the tradition of their Commodore that they really want to sell as the American bred God that he's not. That little pitch, Mike Rinder, that L. Ron Hubbard really knew what in the hell he was talking about, sounds like a disgusting pitch right about now. Devocht had joined the church with his mother, who was when he was just 10, and then he rose up to be a top executive post at Scientology spiritual headquarters in Clearwater. Isn't that great, you guys? Very, very spiritual, where these headquarters where Bianca was doing this to get in the hell out. So right about now, Thomas C Tobin, go and check out that interview for yourself so that you can really have the receipt that doesn't match with your pathetic pitch about how these were very spiritual headquarters where in the hell we were being kept. The enablers of this scheme, you guys, are not just these people, are also Thomas C. Tobin, not investigating, not doing a shred of due diligence, not having a shred of skin in the game. Thomas, that's what in the hell it's called. Y'all have zero skin in the MF game. All you do is griff little pathetic things. Oh, let me see what, oh, okay. Oh, so that's what happened. Okay, let me write it. Let me get a lot of money. Oh, so Lisa died. Oh yeah, let's really go on that story. Let's really go on that story. Let's really focus on that. How much money did the Tampa Bay Times make on that story, you guys? Because they were writing a ton of shit back then. And then all of a sudden, oh yeah, no. Oh, turns out that she wasn't a victim, you guys. Oh, turns out that everything's fine, that it was all just a big misunderstanding and, you know, nothing fishy or smelly whatsoever. Nothing at all. I mean, literally, it says here, 4 ranking defectors describe bizarre behavior and physical beatings inflicted by Scientology leader David Miscavige. They say his behavior grew more erratic in the wake of the Lisa McPherson case. Gee, I wonder why. Did David Miscavige not have a shred of guilty conscience? Was David Miscavige not under a ton of pressure from Monique and the other attorneys working with these clowns to cover up their tracks inside of those hotels? As if the 2 idiots aren't already in the public record outing themselves on a bunch of admissions. But, you know, not because they really wanted to come clean, you guys, because they wanted to shit on David. They've only been speaking about things that make David look bad. Here's for David. David's crazy. David is unhinged. If it wasn't for David, we were all been having a jolly old time. And that's what they have done. You know, they really have sold this story about, oh, all these different characters. You're all a bunch of co-conspirators. Unindicted. As if we weren't there ourselves to watch what in the hell you all did. as if we weren't first-hand witnesses of your disgusting, institutionalized, systemic behavior. We didn't know our passports locked up meant that was trafficking, you guys. They pitched that as, we really want to hold your valuable documents for ourselves in this very secure safe, because you are really a volunteer in this hotel for Debbie Cook. You really are volunteering the rest of your life to her, to serve her. Bianca couldn't even speak about what in the hell happened with Debbie Cook, you guys. But I recommend watching that, because again, the truth corroborates its MF self. That woman was unhinged. If you guys think Ghislaine Maxwell was unhinged and crazy, add 100x billionth time more with this woman. She was a madam who could bring people to the hotel who literally no one had a shred of oversight, who literally all parents are implicated to their MF ears in agreement and consent, and do whatever in the hell. Oh yeah, sell them over there, have them make you money. I don't care. We're going to save the world all together in this side of this hotel, aren't we? So, David Miscavige was getting erratic after the Lisa McPherson case. So before that, they were all best buddies. For that, everything was going great. They had just gotten their little IRS approval, and it was like, yay, we couldn't be more religious. The war is over, gung-ho, yeah. And then Lisa. And then all this decade that they spent propping up the fake 501c was almost about to shut this effing thing down. And that's where all the law enforcement of Florida, for whatever in the hell reason, you guys, having the receipts, having all the things that didn't match about that situationship. And we would know, since we were inside of the hotel while it was happening. We would know what in the hell Debbie Cook was privy to, because we were in the case supervisor's office as they were all gathered around, yapping, getting all freaked out. Oh my God, RTC screaming at me. Richard, what am I going to do? What are we going to do, Richard? Yeah, me with the folder there at 14 in the CS office, just like, I was like, that's the lady that I've been seeing going crazy in the video that all of them are watching, because I was just starting my SEER career, you guys. I was 15, bringing a folder, putting it in the CS office, seeing them all. That's what I did every day. Like, there was no red flag for me at all. None. Literally, I was like, oh, very normal. They really did get their certificate from L. Ron Hubbard. They really are running around with a military uniform and really checking and writing and putting these notes and whatever. Well, you know what? Today, that makes no shred of sense. What in the hell I observed? And why in the hell was I implicated in it in the first place? Because that would be great to also start understanding. Literally. And why was Laura, as if she hasn't told us, you guys, that these people put her up to shred files of Lisa. So that would be great for you to start explaining in your billion-year book, Mike Rinder. Why were minors implicated in the destruction of papers to do with the Lisa McPherson death? Because in what world is David's behavior being erratic, and you and your little friend, Marty Rathbun, could not just be more of the cool, zero guilty conscience, just living it up at the river after you left the threshold of the hotel. And as you really did convince this man to really give you the aura of truth, isn't Marty Rathbun with his little smirk here the literal poster child of truth? Like, a lot of truth is coming out of these people, you guys, a lot of truth. And they all couldn't be more implicated as the little buddies that they were all back then. Then shit started falling apart. Then they started not being such great besties. But as if the story is not as pathetic as that. As if the story, as if all of our trauma and pain is not just due to all of these living it up, laying it up, delusional, out of their mind, all full knowing, left the hotel without a shred of spine or conscience. I guess it was never there. I guess L. Ron Hubbard did really rip it out of you. And it's been nowhere to be found since you walked out that threshold. So double check on that. Neither did Mike Rinder when he went to the pool that night with Devocht. The two others were already acted on their doubts. Marty Rathbun and Miscavige's top lieutenants for years. So Marty Rathbun was a top lieutenant. I mean, you guys, you see how these people could not be more infantile? Okay, yeah, I was a lieutenant. I was his lieutenant, dude. I was really his lieutenant then. Like, Marty Rathbun, like, so yeah, Marty Rathbun was a lieutenant. He left in 2004. And Amy Scovey, oh, shout out to Amy Scovey, who also held several executive posts, left in 2005. The four defectors speaking publicly for the first time each served more than 25 years in the Sea Org. 25 years in the Sea Org, guys. That's a lot of decades to be doing the same thing, to then really want to, throw a little tide, courtesy of Thomas C Tobin, just throw a little tide on it and then oh, look, this is looking real shiny and washed up and bleached. Not great, you guys. The right, wrong, or indifferent, I felt I was doing something for the good of man. And I will never give that back, said Devocht, who left in 2005. So a cool 5 years since leaving the hotel. And apparently -0 self-awareness accomplished in 5 full years to process trauma that, you were already in your midlife. So you spent 25 years there. You got there when you were in your teens. So yeah, you were in your late 40s, right about our age, guys. I left the hotel at 21. I couldn't stand it anymore. Jenna left the hotel at 21. She couldn't stand it anymore. Laura left the hotel at 18. I don't think she could even stand it to 21. She was the hell out of there. She was, nope. Fine. Throw me out. I'm trash, whatever. I'm a disgusting, degraded person. Okay. I'm going to break the 1,000,000,000 year. I couldn't be more disgusting or useless. Okay, fine. But a lot of kids that don't leave, you guys, don't leave because they just don't even have that strength. They just cannot even fathom going through what we had to put ourselves through to leave. So yeah, right, wrong, or indifferent. Isn't that great, you guys? Quote from Tom Devocht, another one of these top lieutenants, right next to Debbie Cook, right next to Angie Blankenship, right next to Ann Rathbun. So all of them right there, they all were the cool cats that really were going to clear the top of the world as a lieutenant of whatever in the hell, right, wrong, or indifferent, they were role-playing. I was doing something for the good of man, and I will never give that back, said Devocht, who left in 2005. But the longer I was in it, then it got crazier and crazier as Dave took over. Oh, Tom Devocht, isn't that great? But just when Dave took over, then things started getting worse. So when I tell you guys that they're pitching themselves as the victims, Tom Devocht, you know exactly what you're implicated on given the fact that you did run the CMO as a very top lieutenant, that David did like you until, little Tom Cruise came around, and then he was cooler and better and you were just discarded. But since you did run the CMO, you had a ton of oversight all over the hotels, right? Everything floated up to the COCMO, you guys. The COCMO is the top. Senior than Debbie Cook. The ones that yell and scream and treat Debbie Cook like the pathetic slave owner that she was. Because she was being mistreated, you guys. All of these people get mistreated by the people that are on top. So before they really sell you on the story that David was the unhinged, David was the one, they cannot get their name David out of their mouth, because otherwise they have to implicate themselves. And that's inconvenient to them because they don't give a shred of an F. They came to Thomas C Tobin to throw a little tide. And the tide worked. This was picked up as earth-shattering revelations because, mind you, none of us knew they were unhinged out of their minds. None of us were privy to that information. We were told that they couldn't be more perfect, they couldn't be more legit, they couldn't be more ethical, they couldn't be more the people that we really wanted to emulate for ourselves. So since that was also a false pitch, when this came down, it did seem sort of earth-shattering. We did think there for a second, as we were gullible AF, that, oh my God, the media, look at them doing their job. Oh my God, really? Things are really starting to unravel. Well, turns out they weren't unraveling whatsoever. They were just cashing checks for themselves. Normal versus abnormal. Oh, this is a good one, you guys. This is going to be good. Normal versus abnormal. Confessions is ingrained in Scientology culture. Admit all your bad thoughts and transgressions. Uh-oh, you guys. No. Admit you had bad thoughts. They didn't give a shred of an F about a thought. What did you do? Thoughts are not withholds. Thoughts are, you can have a million thoughts. They don't give a shred of an F about a thought that you had. If you're interrogating someone and says, oh yeah, really want to confess to having a bad thought, I don't give a shred of an F. What did you do with your own two hands? And before you go, oh, Serge, but why were you that unhinged? If I didn't tell them that, you guys, then I would get in trouble for taking a thought. Correction. What in the hell are you doing taking a thought? Not a done? Are you kidding me? Didn't you see L. Ron Hubbard said that you have to get done? Like, how pathetic, how out ethics, how out tech, how useless are you as an auditor that cannot even apply the technology correctly? It says right there that you have to ask for dones. So here again, little Thomas C Tobin that really wants to water down these things that were being done at the hotel that he would have no shred of a clue. That's why Thomas C Tobin couldn't be more infantile himself, since he couldn't be more gullible and easy to manipulate. I mean, he's putty in their hands. Okay, yeah, say I was a lieutenant. Yeah. And then also write that Dave was doing it all. Because you know what? We were having a jolly old time. Like, as long as we followed L. Ron Hubbard, and we were all so good there. Debbie Cook having a jolly old time. Me having a jolly old time. I mean, good, wrong, or indifferent. I wouldn't take anything back, says Tom Devocht. Like, I'll never give that back because I really did think I was helping somebody. Interesting that you thought that, Tom Devocht, since you would know what happened to me in 1996. May of 1996, right before that big May 9 event that you were holding for yourselves and la. That's right. That's when you all sent me to the hole. Oops, I mean RPF. So Tom Devocht couldn't be more implicated himself if he didn't literally read out loud for every 600 staff members that were told, you guys, because again, they love implicating everybody, just like Jesse Prince told us. As long as we're all implicated, then we couldn't be more trauma bonded AF, enmeshed AF, co-conspirators AF, or like they call it in Scientology, you guys, mutual outroots. So really do learn that little term for yourselves. So you can start asking them in their own little language, since I do play dumb real quick. Were you all mutual outroots? Is that what happened? Is that why you all went blind? Because you're just like, oh, well, he does it, she does it, we do it. Everybody does it. This couldn't be more normal. We all agree, right? We are really going to save the world. So normal versus abnormal, says Thomas C Tobin of the Tampa Bay Times. And yeah, confessions is ingrained in Scientology culture, but admit that you had a bad thought and they wouldn't have given a shred of an F. So that's a false pitch right there, Thomas. And transgressions, leave nothing out and then you will feel free, unburdened, and joyful. Oh, you guys, isn't that great? Isn't that so great? Given that we do know, they were asking, have you committed any felony for which you have not been arrested for? Given that Marty Rathbun was the one that interrogated Marcus Ginter and got him to confess that there were felonies. That Marcus Ginter, that literal self-admitted, you know what in the hell I mean, the ethics officer of the Fort Harrison Hotel. Literally, yeah. Okay, Marty Rathbun, let me tell you. There was this time, there was that time, there was this. Okay, what did you do? When did you do it? Where did you do it? Let me really video record it. Right, Marty Rathbun? You were video recording everything, writing it down, really jotting it down. And, turns out that, I guess I could agree with them, you guys. Like, Marcus Ginter was pretty joyful. He was having a jolly old time. He had full-time access to minors unfeathered without a single shred of consequence. So in what world is that not going to leave that person joyful? Because give it up to Thomas C Tobin, who did write one single true word here. It's true. They were all very, very joyful at the end of having a hotel that was so cozy, literally pitched by none other than Debbie Cook, you guys, as literally, kid you not, the friendliest place on earth. Flag, the friendliest place on earth. Well, isn't that great? Everyone's so joyful, so unburdened, so feeling free from practicing law without a license and literally having all the best attorneys to really advise them on what in the hell they shouldn't be doing. But apparently, attorneys are nowhere to be found inside of those hotels. And we would know, you guys. We only saw Monique when she was really pressed, checking up on the Lisa McPherson situationship, which we now know was a major breaking point for Davey. He couldn't handle the pressure of what in the hell they had all propped up together as a team, knowing what each other is doing and thinking and coordinating thereby and therewith. And that is the definition of a team. It is people who cooperate one with another to push forward a common purpose, and they normally get along great. L. Ron Hubbard. Definition of conspiracy, criminal conspiracy. You couldn't be more of a pathetic, indicted, crazy asses doing each other's bidding and everybody helping each other, just like, Jesse Prince did take it upon himself to tell on himself, you guys, a little more real, keeping it a little more real. You are asked to do things that are illegal. You are asked to do things that are criminal. You know that from your position, you have to do it. Then pretty soon you're doing it. And then everyone else is doing the type of criminal activities. So Jesse Prince, RTC executive that, is a little more forthcoming, than this watered down version of, I really thought I was saving the world, good, right, of indifferent. I don't give an F. Like, I thought I was doing the right thing. So that's all that matters. But apparently they were all working as a team. And that is extremely troubling for this narrative they're trying to sell, where Davy was the only one who ever do a shred of a bad thing to everybody because he was the bully of all the adults, you guys. And they're really, really pressed about that because, you know, if it was for Dave, they could have all taken control. They could have all really gotten along. They all really did get along real well. So, yeah, David was maybe like the more unhinged, the more leader of them, because all the other ones were just literally whatever. So they thought, oh yeah, if we were just aboard together by ourselves without Dave, then we would have had a jolly old time. We would have resolved everything so great, applying the technology of L. Ron Hubbard, opening up the book to the letter, to the comma, to the nth degree. As if it's not literally on the public record, you guys. That's what needs to be defended by all of them. If you were applying those policies to the T, if you're applying everything to the literal comma, then y'all have a lot of explaining to do for yourselves. And good luck teaching that, if so, just ecclesiastical AF. Couldn't be more pathetic, literally. The four defectors say that Miscavige took the practice to a new level. Oh, it was Miscavige, you guys. Miscavige couldn't take a practice to nothing. Again, L. Ron Hubbard set the stage. L. Ron Hubbard wrote the rules of engagement. Do not get it MF twisted. No one had the rank, not even Dave, to cross out L. Ron Hubbard, because pathetically enough, they all agreed that the felon they buried, you know, really had some great ideas for himself, and, you know, we should really prop him up, but, you know, not scratch anything or question anything or do anything exactly what in the hell it says on the book. So this has been a very fake, false narrative that they've used to wiggle waggle. Oh yeah, if only we would have applied the policy, then everything would have been great. No, that's BS. If you apply the policy, you end up doing what in the hell you've all been doing all this time. They said that he convened group confessions that come to known as sciences. I don't know what in the hell this word is, you guys. Sciences. Okay. The executives would confess sins. And I mean, again, you guys, like, nobody in their literal living hell called it sin. We had a technology. As they said already, you can do something and then you're going to be very joyful after you discuss everything, after you implicate yourself entirely, after you have self-incriminated yourself to the teeth, to the nth degree. And it's been checked and double checked and triple checked. Don't think and don't go with the pitch, you guys, that, oh, everything was so fake in there. Do you know the type of questions we had to ask these MFers at the end of each session? In this session, have you told me an untruth? In this session, have you told all? In this session, have you told me part of a withhold but not the rest? In this session, did you try to misdirect the auditor? So those are just a few of the questions that these people had to pass. In this session, did you say something only to impress me? All those questions, you guys, the needle had to be floating, which means the person had to be like, oh yeah, I feel so great. L. Ron Hubbard is great. Oh, everything's so great. Because everyone's disassociated out of their MF mind as all of these things are being checked and checked and checked and make no shred of literal sense. But yeah, let's implicate all the minors and let's really call it therapy, because David was ruining it for all. If only we would have done it, not like David, taking it really hard and doing group confessions with adults. Because yeah, let's cradle and canoodle all the adults that willingly participated in said group confessions. We've been cradling and canoodling you, thanks to the Tampa Bay Times, since 2009, turns out. And still, that's all you have left on the public record. With your great connections there, Why in the hell do they have nothing else to write about? Why in the hell is this the only thing that there was ever to write? Because I really do think I've said it all. Your overt and withhold write-up could not be more incomplete. And that is being called out. And if you don't like it, then complete it for yourselves. That's what's being asked of you. Literally, you're grown-ass men. Go and do your shit already and stop acting so infantile. The executives would confess withholds falsely pitched by Thomas as sins, which is a word we never ever in our fucking living mind ever used, Thomas. So flunk for writing BS words just so you could sound a little more religious and really do give this a little more tide. Let's just throw tide at the problem from the dollar store, you guys. This is how pathetic this writing is. They've committed sins against Miscavige, revealed their bad thoughts, who he didn't give a shred of an F. You have a bad thought about me? What did you do to me right before you had that bad thought? That. What are you looking at right there? What are you looking at? What's that bad thought that you had right there? What did you think? Yeah, right there. What's that? Okay, you need to come clean. I already checked the question. This is not a false read. I already checked the machine to check if maybe, you know, we got it wrong, but it turns out we didn't get it wrong. So go and check again. What did you do before you had that bad thought? What type of crime did you conceal? What type of criminal activity can you implicate yourself on? Because we're not leaving this hotel room until you confess, until your needle really floats, until you really say you love it, and until we're convinced that you can leave the room. So isn't that great, you guys, that you're getting into the weeds of what in the hell they were really, really about, but they never really contextualized, because apparently we're still getting a lecture from Thomas C Tobin about, you know, what was it? I forget the title, you guys, but something about how we're really going to learn ecclesiastical something. So here they go with, you know, confessing the withholds and reveal their bad thoughts. And Scientology makes personal disclosures, including sexual fantasies. Oh, look at that, you guys. They did put it on the public record that they were all about sexual fantasies. You guys, as if they weren't obsessed with sex, these people. Do you know the type of repercussions that the child auditors had for themselves, including but not limited to Natalie Galbiati, Irida Pallavicini, Ana Luisa Rodriguez, Paula Sanz, just literally name 4 girls that I just thought of right now, just this second, that were all minors under the age of 15. Trained in Debbie Cook's course rooms, sometimes by yours truly. Isn't that great, you guys, that I was just, here's your certificate, congratulations, go get an applause. You know, you really learned a lot from me because I know what in the hell I'm doing. I was lured into that position by my grandmother having it. Imagine that, you guys. It took my grandmother grooming, normalizing, as if Debbie Cook didn't use my literal grandmother to be like, yeah, just be like her. Wouldn't you want to be like her? Isn't she so great? Isn't she so great? And they used our affinities to our families to really pretend and co-opt us into the disgusting dysfunction of hotel sham 501c from hell. That's what's not making a shred of sense yet again in this year 2024. Sexual fantasies. They were all about the sexual fantasies. So what did you think of? So what do you want to do sexually? So what have you done sexually? So why don't you want to tell us about what you've done sexually? So why don't you tell us more about what you do like doing sexually? Did you do something homosexual? Did you do something with a lesbian? Did you have a threesome? Did you give a blowjob? Did you do anal? Oh yeah, you guys, all questions, murder routine, bull bait, whatever. Just Questions. Ask your questions. Unhinged AF. Go drill it on a wall. Go drill it with a doll, and then shove yourself in a hotel room and really ask whatever in the hell you want. So yeah, that couldn't be getting more called out as disgusting and nauseating as it is. But in all of the Scientology stuff, everyone's being like, oh yeah, let's really not criticize L. Ron Hubbard because that could really be a religious belief. And then all of a sudden, we really have insulted somebody that really did prop up a fake 501c for themselves. So why in the hell is everyone so pressed to, not insult the fantasy of what these two amigos did take it upon themselves to prop up, aided and abetted and colluded and co-conspired and bestied and helped and everything by this one and all manner of other people that are severely implicated, because that's what in the hell goes on in those hotels. They all know it. They're all fully aware. They all wrote memos. They all wrote it down. They all transcribed it, did it, whatever. So good, bad, or indifferent, there's nothing to take back. There's nothing to regret. We really are moving forward. The kids that are implicated today, they can literally fend for themselves, adult bodies that they are. Meanwhile, all of these people did end up having other kids. And mind you, those new kids literally gave them oh my God. Maybe I was an absent parent over there. Maybe I was out of my mind over there. But, now that I have a child here, no, you guys, like literally had kids 18 years. 18 years. They've literally had an 18-year-old kid. And nothing is ever enough to want to come clean. Something that they purported that they were all about inside of those hotels, you guys. So how in the hell are they going to really sit here with a straight face telling us, I don't know what the hell Serge is talking about. I've come clean. I really got all my overts off. I've gotten all my withholds off. Really? You really did get all your withholds off? Are you sure about that? Because y'all's needle could not be any more dirty. Dirty, you guys, like this. So you really are learning everything about Scientology right now. So this is a dirty needle, okay, y'all? So when the needle just goes like this, sticky, then must be hiding something. That's what L. Ron Hubbard told us. So whenever their needle would go like that, you're like, crimes. We need to really look for crimes. And meanwhile, we're being recorded and watched and told, follow up on that dirty needle. Ask him if he's ever put a banana up his ass. Check the question again. Check him if he's been masturbating thinking about you. Ask him what else he was thinking about. With a straight face, you guys. This is not something hidden. This is not something that one crazy ass deranged person that no one knows that he was doing that did it. That's L. Ron M.F. Hubbard that said to do that to all his proteges. And they all said, this is the way to go free? Great. Let me just grab a microphone, have a child there doing the interrogation and really, supervise it is what they called it. I'm going to case supervise. We're building a case. You have to check your case. And if any of y'all are wondering what in the hell it takes to have a case supervisor diploma, it's 2 weeks inside of one of those hotels. Debbie Cook will give you a quick, here you go. You're now a class 4 case supervisor. Yay. Go and supervise. Go relax. Go into an ivory tower is what they called it. And just sit there in front of monitors. Tons of monitors, all the monitors everywhere. We want to have eyesight in all the rooms. Heaven forbid somebody alters something that L. Ron Hubbard said. So again, they couldn't be more implicated up to their MF ears, as if they weren't video recording it all, setting it all up for themselves like that. And with a straight face, they're nowhere to be found, regretting maybe that part. Maybe I shouldn't have recorded it. Maybe I should have not transcribed it, because maybe all the records still exist. Literally all the records that they kept on themselves, all the receipts they've kept on themselves, you guys. Why can I talk with such certainty? Because I know the level of receipts they kept on themselves. That's why. I'm not going to say, oh, they were recording everything, and then turns out no one recorded anything, and that was only a one-off over there. I've already posted it in the community tab for you guys to all see. Videos, hotel, CSs, watching, writing it down. So that's what Scientology is. Audits. Don't settle for any other garbage definition that they're trying to pitch you about the real ecclesiastical whatever's churchy thing that you would have no shred of a clue, because aren't Mike Rinder and Marty Rathbun, the two people tapped at the very top of this by the river, floating their crimes as they sit there with a smile, and Thomas C Tobin grabbing the tide real quick to throw and sprinkle at all the executives that leave. Oh, did you just leave? Okay, let me sprinkle you with some tide. Okay, good. Okay, bye. Have a nice life. Really recover. Recover by not coming clean, Mike Rinder, because that's not what L. Ron Hubbard said, is it? Recover by not coming clean, Debbie Cook? Because that's not what you were pitching when you were stuck in those hotels. Everyone needs to come clean, you guys. Like he says right here, obsessed with everyone admitting to every last shred of anything. So you all can go and demand that accountability, since they literally did demand accountability inside of those hotels. Believe you us, they did. Believe you us, with a full phrase. Yeah, so the church provided, oh, no. Oops, I lost my thing. Okay, here. And Dave would then sit there and listen and enjoying the hell out of it, said Devocht, who recalled one sense when he was Miscavige struck an executive, Mark Yeager, and threw him to the floor, then singled out our fifth Schermerhorn medieval administrator who is black. He goes, by the way, Yeager thinks that black people. I'm not even literally going to read it, you guys, because that is disgusting. So congratulations, Thomas C. Tobin, by proving that slavery is alive and well, as if all of our childhoods we didn't spend being slaves. As if this literal black person is not literally being told that, you guys. And before you go, oh yeah, but maybe that was not Mark Yeager's viewpoint. That was L. Ron Hubbard's viewpoint. He wrote a whole bunch of disgusting things about South Africans this, and aren't they such a different case? And don't they have such a specific problem because they really did pull in to be born in there? So go check for the South African rundown, you guys, because again, we're not pulling anything out of our ass. Lucky for us, L. Ron Hubbard did do us that favor. It's called the South African Rundown. You can GTS it for yourself. It's not interesting. It's ridiculous. It's dumb. It's stupid. But it proves that these people did have a very specific type of ideology, that the last thing that ideology was, the last thing that rhetoric was ever, was ecclesiastical for nothing. Literally for nothing. And what world is all of this disgusting, gross stuff going on in the literal 20th century, you guys? Because America won't give it up. Literally won't give it up, won't allow white, disgusting, middle-aged men like L. Ron Hubbard and Marty Rathbun and Mark Rinder and David Miscavige, who really are the poster childs of, you know, the real great entrepreneurs. Cis white men that are literally wreaking havoc without giving a shred of an F. Implicating women, children, the elderly. Everyone was fair game for these executives, you guys. As long as they purported it. No. Only Mike Rinder did a little tiny bit of fair game here and there, for which has been caught. But what type of fair game have you never been caught with, Mike Rinder? Because that's what's not on the record. What you haven't been caught with is not on the record. Only what everybody knows already. So that's why you're being called a pathological liar, because everything that's on the record proves that you've been sitting on a lot of withholds for yourself. A ton of withholds. Everybody in that damn room, people, are wild and out of control. He said, I punched somebody. Everybody was punched and screaming and yelling. And I just got like, what in the hell is going on here? That is exactly the question we ask ourselves every single day, you guys. What we've actually upped the ante. What in the literal abominable hell? You know, one little help is just like, oh yeah, well, whatever. But you know, what in the literal abominable hell is going on here? Because not much is making a shred of sense, right, guys? The church provided the St. Petersburg Times with sworn declarations. Oh, guys, isn't that great? Sworn declarations. Mike Rinder, did you ever use sworn declarations for anything? You know, like remember when, you know, kids really went like that and really wanted to like be out of their minds and just literally were like, I'm desperate. I literally need to leave the hotel. And then y'all were like, oh yeah, but just write a declaration that you really did love it here. So we really did have that on file. And then no worries. In 6 days, you'll be gone. We'll get rid of you. You're not more of an able being able anymore. You are roadkill. And you couldn't be more useless to us now. You pose more of a liability than anything can squeeze out of you. So good luck is how Bianca got thrown to the street. Like that, you guys. So sworn declarations is a favorite practice of these people. So as much as they practice sworn declarations, then you guys imagine, and I've been saying this, imagine if all the little parents and all the little executives that really don't know what in the hell's going on could just, you know, revert to that practice of writing their little affidavits, but this time they actually wrote what in the hell they need to write for themselves to actually, you know, take some accountability, number one. Number two, you know, provide law enforcement who apparently won't move a shred of a finger unless you literally present their entire criminal case already solved for them. Oh yeah, here you go. Clearwater Police. Connect a shred of a dot, because now we got the receipts. Now we got all this information that apparently y'all can't process, because the minute that Mike Rinder said Ecclesiastical Justice, even the Tampa Bay Times, you guys, the newspaper with the elite, whatever in the hell they purports to be. Imagine they're so useless and pathetic, then the Clearwater Police goes and reads all of this and literally wipes their you-know-what with it. Goes, whatever. Religion must be protected in Clearwater, Florida, because, you know, all the minors that have been trafficked through our airport have not raised a shred of a red flag. Given that Mike Rinder, Marty Rathbun, and David Miscavige are the face of this thing until they weren't. But then, you know, the Tampa Bay Times came to the rescue to really purport that, you know, as much as all this dysfunction is being seen, it was all about ecclesiastical justice. And thanks to their truth rundown, you know, we couldn't be more, you know, put in our place about everything. And everything just now makes so much sense now, thanks to Thomas C Tobin, that literally would have gotten his head chopped off in 10 if he ever investigated like this. Anyone inside of those hotels, you guys. So that's the pathetic state of affairs of this media that couldn't have their critical thinking skills more compromised if they weren't just sitting down and typing what in the hell someone is telling them and just going with that. Because in what world did you have zero shred of pushback on this, Thomas? Because, you know, this is giving thirsty AF. This is giving, you were so desperate for anyone to talk to you that you could make a quick buck that you really did help launder their image. So yes, the church provided St. Petersburg Times sworn declarations denying that the incident ever happened. And in Yeager's declaration, he said that he was not prejudiced and that Schermerhorn is a friend. Isn't that great, you guys? They're all just friends beating the living crap out of each other, committing felonies on each other. I mean, as if literally beating each other as adults is not a felony, you guys. But you know what? The bandwidth for what in the hell we can rescue comes with a shred of boundaries, turns out. I mean, I don't expect for you guys to sort out Mark Yeager's little situationship that he's got himself into, given that he is a co-conspirator too. He has aided and abetted everything that went on in the hotels. So no, it's not just let's go save everyone with cradling and canoodling and really give them the infancy that they've been living up as adults their whole life at the expense of all the kids, that they were sucking their innocence, that they were sucking their childhood, that they were wasting things they cannot return to us. Guys, you cannot return what in the hell you took from us. So yeah, if we sound a little pressed, it ain't even personal. Not great, you guys? This ain't personal. But you MFers are doing this to other kids. And that is personal. This MF personal, given that all of you forgot already the great technology you pitched about write an affidavit, put time, place for an event, and really take some accountability now. Y'all couldn't be more in a lower condition AF, confused AF, deluded AF. I mean, you're probably below the lower conditions that even L. Ron Hubbard typed up for himself. He thought confusion was the lowest of the lowest, you guys. Well, I think tonight, you know, they got themselves a little lower condition than confusion. Delusion. So go and do your little delusion formula, which means go clear the definition of what a criminal racketeering scheme is. And then make an essay about, you know, if you're implicated in anything like that whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. And then take that to the criminal attorney, then write your little affidavit, then go cut yourselves the deal you need, and then shut this thing down already. Because in what world do we have this level of receipts, you guys, with the media not being audited, with the media really purporting that they know what in the hell they're talking about when all they do is launder the image of these people? Schermerhorn wrote that he has never heard Miscavige use the N-word. Oh, great, you guys. Lucky for us. I mean, nobody gave a shred of an F about using that word in there, you guys. And Jana Fair, another one of these great executives that I would know firsthand, was found to be using that word a lot. So remember little Jana Fair? And actually, she used that word because she was a messenger, and she used that on one of Mike Rinder's proteges. So maybe Mike Rinder, you can remember, you know, the little African-American protege you did have for yourself at the OSA flag office. I forget her name right now, but maybe it'll come back to me, you guys. But she was definitely called that, literally in front of people. I mean, at the time, again, you guys, this is all just so nauseating, and it's all just coming back to me now, like that song it says. And it's all coming back to me, and it's all coming back to me now. Okay, so Rinder says a group confession early in the 2004 really stands out for him because Rathbun, his longtime friend, oh, you guys, little besties, little longtime friendsy-wensies, Marty and Mikey. Oh, Marty and Mikey, longtime friends, ended up attacking him. Oh, yeah. You guys, we went from 0 to 100 real low right there. He went from being longtime friendsy-wensies to out of his mind attacking him. Okay, Mike Rinder. And you stand up and there's 50 people in the room all screaming and shouting. What did you do? And did you do this or did you do that? And I'm standing there saying, no, I didn't do that, says Rinder. The group ganged up on him and he had to have done something. Come on, own up. Come on. Whoa, you guys. Whoa, whoa, whoa. As if all of y'all and us right about now feel like being that little group that confronted you, Mike Rinder. There's already 80 people in the chat right now that right about now would want to be telling you, come on, own up. Come on, own up. The group ganged up on him. Oh, he doesn't like getting ganged up on, you guys. Warning, trigger warning for Mike Rinder. He does not want to be ganged up on. He had to have done something. Come on, own up. Come on. And then when I said nothing, that's when Marty leaped on me. Rinder says, and that's psychotic. There's a term for it in Scientology. It's called contagion of aberration. Well, thank you. Because I think you, Mike Rinder, can literally not go to law school and not go to medical school anymore, because I think you have diagnosed yourself correctly. You couldn't have been more literally been the effect of the contagion, the literal contagion of aberration, you know, that little sanitized word that can really mean a lot of things to you. Because, you know, was contagion of aberration when you were all laundering the felonies of self-admitted, you know what in the hell we mean. Because that seems like another contagion there that really laundered a lot of aberrations for people. Like it said, Thomas C Tobin over there, having really the joy of their lives after they really did say everything they did. And that's true, you guys. I can account for that. Trust me, when we were done with these people, they were all smiles half the time. Literally like, my God, it's so great to really have told you all my felonies. I couldn't feel more floating if my needle literally was not floating. When you get a group of people together, they will stimulate one another to do things that are crazy. Holy shit, you guys. I mean, I guess like if all it takes is to be in a group and stimulate one another and then do crazy stuff. I mean, I've been in a lot of groups, you guys. And I mean, I guess we weren't stimulating each other enough to do the crazy shit that Mike Rinder's pitching over here to Thomas C Tobin. Davis, who succeeded Rinder as church spokesman. See, there you go, Rinder. You were the spokesman. You did the PR for L. Ron Hubbard. So we got a lot of questions for you. You got a lot of answering to do. Because your little protege did say that the sentence is not used in Scientology, and Miscavige never encouraged violence. He always just encouraged, okay, you guys, let's really all get along. Let's really wear my military fake uniform. Let's really, you know, come to you with compassion. Help you all so much better for yourselves. And then all of a sudden, Mike Rinder and Marty Rathbun and all those people that did end up in that trailer, you guys, oh, okay, then that's true. Miscavige really did love us. We really did love each other. We were such besties at the time. You know, my longtime friend, Marty Rathbun. So now you're on the record, Mike Rinder. Longtime friend of yours. Let's see what else is behind that closed door. Let's see how deep that rabbit hole goes. Let's see how much of a friendship you really did have. Because you call it friendship, and maybe there's other definitions that you could go look for yourself in the dictionary, and maybe those apply better. You know, L. Ron Hubbard did teach you that you should clear your words. So right about now, go clear them, because maybe other definitions could apply. Maybe. Rinder said that the ugly moment was an example of the corrosive atmosphere at Scientology's base near Los Angeles. There's an attempt to play people off one against the other, and you know that and you see it, Rinder says. Rathbun attack wasn't motivated by hatred toward me. Oh, okay, Mike Rinder. So that was not hatred. It was motivated by some attempt at preservation for him. I don't think this makes a literal, I guess, shred of sense. In what world is someone attacking you and then you're like, oh, but he didn't mean to do that. It was for his own self-preservation. So once again, you guys, so they are on the record, comfortable implicating each other, being infantile AF, just playing rough, right? Because it's all just a game. Oh, he was just playing. He didn't really mean it. He was just, self-preservation that he was really pressed about. Why the hell was Marty Rathbun pressed to preserve himself, you guys? Because again, these people are... Davis cited that church founder Hubbard's policy encourages members to confront and come clean when they have done something to bring down the group. See, you guys, L. Ron Hubbard did tell them all, if you've done something, you got to literally, bring it to the forefront, right? So good to have this on the record, because in what world did they really practice this? In what world did they really go gung-ho? We really want to apply this technology and have this 501c to really save the world, and they're nowhere to be found, following whatever church founder. The church founder and the co-founders are, running out of their mind, rampant, beating each other up like crazy asses. David real pressed because he's having a meltdown after a woman was found dead in his hotels, where he was personally implicating, case supervising. Don't forget, you guys, David's little paws, tiny little paws, were all over Lisa's file. So, but yeah, Lisa, rest in peace. Lisa didn't get a shred of justice thanks to Marty and Mikey and apparently Laura, who is also shredding files for them. Isn't that great that just kids can be co-opted into something disgusting like obstruction of justice, a literal felony? Because that would be great for you to really talk about in your net podcast. Or you, Marty Rathbun, maybe you can write why using kids shredding files of people that end up dead in our hotel was a very religious activity, because I'm sure the IRS commissioner would love to hear that pitch from you, since y'all are not making him look that good. Right about now, y'all are literally implicating the IRS in your scam, sham 501c from literal hell. It is not for the purpose of punishment to come clean. Oh, David cited church founder Hubbard's policy that encourages members to confront and come clean. They're nowhere to be found to confront each other and coming clean, guys. But yeah, L. Ron Hubbard did, make them very confrontational. So why are you executives and Scientology parents have not confronted each other to come clean? Why are you leaving it up to us to have to do it for y'all? Why is it our job? Why would we even have to be talking about all of this pathetic context that you couldn't be more familiar with if you weren't literally feeling so comfortable to blab to Thomas C Tobin about all of this, only as long as David looks bad? Gotcha. Okay. I get it. Makes sense, you guys. I mean, what was it that Mike Rinder cited? Self-preservation. that Marty Rathbun wasn't hitting him, that it was all just an attempt to self-preservation. So preservation, that's what they're into, preservation. Preservation is the, I guess that's the ecclesiastical justice, you guys. Preservation AF. Corruptation AF. Was it corruptation, you guys, or was it preservation? Because corruptation, is that even a word? Corruptation? I think not. I think I just made that up like L. Ron Hubbard, pulling literal words that I made up out of my literal ass, because I know that that's not a word. So there you go. The church says Rathbun and Devocht acted so inappropriately, roughing up staffers, roughing him up, that they were required to confess publicly. Isn't that just amazing, you guys? So roughing up is not literal physical assault, right? Never mind that we already know that you cannot even touch a security guard from them because they'll have you arrested faster than your head can spin. So before you, Mike Rinder, and you, Marty Rathbun, wants to say we had no shred of a clue about the law when we were literally beating on each other, but really coming up with this little sanitized word that Thomas C Tobin really helped you write, where it was just roughing each other up. Roughing. Rough. I mean, like little doggies, right? It's just like, they were just little doggies roughing it. And then they were confronted by peers and asked, what's going on? Absolutely, because that is the responsibility of the group. Oh, everybody, you're roughing up each other? Oh my God, we've never seen this in Scientology. What could in the hell be going on? Letting down the group also can result in overboarding. Church spokesman said it is the Sea Org's ritual akin to tradition in the other religious orders. So yeah, just religious, akin, tradition. That's all it takes, you guys. Apparently, that is all it takes for you to run a sham 501c with not even a shred of oversight whatsoever on anything in any way, shape, or form. Starkey, the 66-year-old former captain of the Apollo, and plenty of people have been overboarded in his 50 years of Scientology. Great to know that. I mean, you guys, I never spoke about it because I just find it extremely pathetic, but I was overboarded, thrown into a pool plenty times by Debbie Cook inside her hacienda. They had a literal pool if you arrived late for exercise after only sleeping 3 hours. Oh, you didn't wake up to exercise at 7:15? Throw them in the pool. And yeah, you know what? Being thrown in that stupid ass pool, I guess, didn't traumatize me as much as it did traumatize these grown ass men doing it to each other. Because you guys, if we are all in a cult right now and y'all are throwing me in a pool and I'm letting you, I'm not going to make a whole podcast about it. Trust me. And if I didn't want to get thrown in the pool and I'm real butthurt because I did get thrown and you just ruined my $3,000 Alaya high heels that are my favorite, maybe then I'll try to get revenge, you guys. Maybe then. But before that, I wouldn't give a single shred of an F to be thrown in an MF pool. So yeah, but that was a practice too. So give it up to Debbie Cook for really joining in the very, long practice of throwing people in pools, but there was a lot of sadistic stuff, you guys, because it was freezing outside, even in Florida. I remember in the winter. I mean, it didn't matter. It was the winter, the summer, whatever. Just throw them in the pool. Deal with the consequences. Your ethics were out, and we are helping you by sadistically abusing you over and over and over. That's, the value you have to us as a human and as a child. If a Sea Org member messes up, you throw him over the goddamn side of the ship. Starkey said. Isn't that great, you guys? Give it up to the Tampa Bay Times for giving us this little nugget. Throwing them out of the goddamn ship because they effed up and they're supposed to be tough sons of bitches. Well, now you're starting to understand the culture of these adults terrorizing kids. If we were all sons of bitches, if we were all supposed to be thrown off the goddamn ship, that's the leadership that these people had. In what world are they being enabled, cradled, and canoodled to act unhinged out of their minds, with Thomas C Tobin really pitching that they were just roughing each other up? Because that would be great to know why you went with roughing. Church lawyer Monique Yingling. Oh, yay, you guys. See the name for yourselves. I had no idea she was going to be making an appearance here. Monique Yingling. Attorney at law, Monique Yingling. And let's look at her quote, you guys. Let's see if she sounds any better typing than when she's actually confronted with opening her mouth, since she couldn't be more religious and scripture. And yeah, the kids really loved it inside there. And there's a lot of things that are being done to protect a lot of kids all the time. Because when kids are, she literally talks in nonsense, you guys, because she knows she cannot answer anything with any kind of straight face. So she plays dumb. She plays real grandma. Oh, I brought you some muffins. As if she didn't even get outed, you guys, by ABC News, who said, and Monique did bring us these muffins and we have to report on it. So yeah. Muffin Monique Yingling said that overboarding is part of Ecclesiastical Justice. Yay, Monique. Yay, 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 Monique. Ecclesiastical Justice, you guys. I guess you're all ready to get your certificate. At the end of this live, y'all have really earned it. I can't believe this. They're not backing away from it or ashamed of it, she said. It has been done hundreds of times with precautions taken to make it safe. Okay, you guys, please. I literally, you all can see it printed with a straight face by Tampa Bay Times, Thomas C Tobin. Okay, Monique. So what's your still? Yeah, it's been done 100 times. So, and we were always taking precautions. So I don't know, Monique. It sounds like you weren't taking precautions when you were having your deranged client, Debbie Cook, throwing minors overboard in that pool. Because some minors did get very traumatized, you guys. It was humiliating and disgusting. And again, it's like you had no sleep, you had no food, you're being thrown in the pool, everyone's laughing at you and calling you names. You're so out of ethics, you're so degraded, you now have to do lower conditions. Everything had more and more double and triple down of the stupidity and the ethics to so-called put us back in place. But again, it would be great to, throw Monique Yingling overboard, you guys. If, we'll take precautions, Monique. Don't worry. We will take precautions, right, guys? I mean, we would take such good care of you, Monique. You would be in such great hands with us. Oh, you have no idea the type of precautions we would put in place when we throw you overboard. Oops, did we forget to mention there were piranhas? Oh, no, Monique. Oh, shit. We forgot to take him out. We were going to take him out, Monique, but oh, she's gone, guys. Okay, well, all right. Sucks to be you, Monique. Enjoy your overboarding with safe precautions that you really pitched with a straight face to Thomas C Tobin, and he really did pitch and wrote this in his own writing, you guys. In the example of Devocht and Rinder recounted, church spokesman said that the pool was heated. Towels were provided. A lifeguard was present. Oh, yeah, you guys. Nothing like Okay, Monique, we're going to throw you a lifeline. So hopefully the piranhas don't need you alive. I mean, just try to get a hold of that lifeline, Monique. We're not going to send you a lifeguard. We're not going to go that far. Like it's going in this literal article, you guys. I mean, I thought attorneys were not allowed to lie. I thought attorneys were not allowed to lie, you guys. I thought attorneys were not supposed to be spokeswomen because, it really calls to really understand if there really was a lifeguard there, Monique. Did you really have to go with lifeguard? Because that's how you know she's lying, guys, because that's how lies are. Oh, not only was the pool heated. You guys, no one used the pool. Why in the hell would they have it heated? I mean, it makes no sense. Monique, you couldn't be more lying your ass off and ready to hang your license to really launder the image of what all of these imbecile, infantile proteges of you made them, Monique. They're your children that paid you to really help them prop up their 501c. So right about now, we're not buying the pitch that the pool was heated. That's BS. The Hacienda one wasn't. I mean, maybe up at Gold, since they're so luxurious up there, they did have a heated pool, but doesn't ring true since no one was ever allowed to use the goddamn installations, you guys, because they were just literally there for show. I mean, they believe you. It did work to get us there as kids. It's like, you're going to live here and there's going to be a pool and you're going to have so many things that you're going to do. The minute they had you, no one can use the pool. You need to be productive. Like Bianca said today in the live, you guys, when 9/11 happened, we got blamed for it. Y'all are not working hard enough. The wake-up call. David Miscavige, you've been not doing your job. Terrorism is going crazy. The world's going crazy, and it's all your fault. So that would be great for you to clarify what kind of, towels were provided for us after we were told that we had created literally 9/11, Monique. That would be great to understand why your unhinged client, David, literally did take it upon himself, you guys, the wake-up call, and I'm going to get my hands on that one. So you can, again, not just think, oh, Serge, of course, David Miscavige didn't blame you for 9/11. Oh, yeah, he did, you guys. Oh, yeah, he did. And then Debbie Cook hammered the message home for a year and a half. Every week. Oh, we really need to read the wake-up call again, you guys. We really have to. In the example that Devocht and Rinder recounted, the church spokesman said that the pool had towels. Okay, yeah. Devocht and Rinder say that he was standing right there laughing, Rinder said. It was very entertaining for him. Oh, you guys. Their little deranged bestie that they were besties with all of a sudden turned on them after, he did have a little traumatizing incident for himself. Lisa being gone and all, him really being implicated in all of it, that weighing in his little, tiny little conscience. But, it weighed on David's conscience, but apparently it didn't weigh on Rinder's or Marty. So why didn't that weigh on your conscience? Why was David the only one going out of his mind after literally being caught with y'all's pants down? Because it would be great to know what type of legal logistics y'all really jumped through to, secure yourselves sweetheart deals and sweetheart outcomes, as if we already don't know from the latest little corruption stuff with Denny Masterson that y'all were literally all over that, trying to do all manner of stuff. So poor Lisa wasn't around to advocate for herself anymore, you guys. Her time was gone, but, lucky for her, the Tampa Bay Times did care about her enough to, find out that, Rinder and Marty Rathbun were fully implicated, as if the Tampa Bay Times didn't see them there in court representing all of this. But then, Thomas C Tobin, that was perfectly aware Oh, so you have been misunderstood this whole time. Oh, okay. So it was only David, right? Okay. Let me just really write this down here. David. Ad nauseum, ad nauseum, ad nauseum, ad nauseum, ad nauseum, ad nauseum. David, David, David. This is the problem. He did it. We didn't have a shred of a clue. Nobody knows a shred of nothing. So apparently that's how it all went down. Rinder said that he doesn't remember any towels at all being ready that night for any of the 10 or so times he and large groups of staffers were escorted to the lake under the guard and required to jump in fully dressed. Not great, you guys. There were no towels. I mean, the stupidity of arguing over towels, really, we really have to talk about whether towels were provided or not. Do you see how sick of a joke this is, you guys? I mean, is it just me? Honestly, I don't know. He disputed Yingling's contention that the overboarding incident as described with a large group of people is accepted church practice. He said it was meant to address an issue with an individual. Oh, here's L. Ron Hubbard's publicist, you guys. To the rescue, Mikey Rinder. So yeah, there was no overboard. There was no FO. We didn't get thrown inside the pool in the freezing winter of Florida by Debbie Cook because, it turns out that it was only for one person and one person only, even though, Starkey's there saying that, for 50 years they've been throwing people. It's like they cannot make any sense of anything, you guys, because they couldn't all just be literally implicating themselves. Literally. So here we go, which is how church spokesman Davis said he was punished as a subordinate. It was a guy who was blowing it and kept blowing it and kept blowing it. I mean, you guys, what in the hell are they blowing? Woo. Rose water, you guys, blowing it and blowing it and blowing it and making mistakes. Oh, it was mistakes, you guys. Okay. Because you know what? After all those interrogations I did, I thought they were going to talk about something else right now. But it wasn't that type of blowing. It was just mistakes. Mistakes, you guys. It was my responsibility to uphold the ethical standards of the Sea Org. Yeah, absolutely. I tossed the guy in. If the defectors could not back such punishments, Davis said that they could have left 10 years ago. Oh, no, just years ago. The goddamn front door wasn't locked. And they had a problem with it. They could have walked out. Isn't that great, you guys? Isn't that just so great? Oh, yeah. Thank you for that clarification, Tommy Davis. So, yeah. Tell us about how the door was really open. And where was our passport? Because we forgot that, the door was open, you guys, but our passport wasn't open. And we had to do this for anyone to be like, oh, okay, then they are roadkill. Get rid of them. Good riddance. Send them to another state. So good to know, Tommy Davis. Intense and hands-on, the defectors were not only soft, they could maintain the accelerated work pace Miscavige established, the church says. Rathbun flubbed so many assignments, such as his handling of the Lisa McPherson wrongful death lawsuit. Ooh, I wonder if any of the F-ups had anything to do with sending Laura to go shred everything, you guys. I mean, literally these. Rathbun flubbed so many assignments that he was descending on the Lisa McPherson wrongful death lawsuit that Miscavige had to take it over. Ooh, take it over. Distracting him for more important duties, spokesman said. Never mind that David was fully implicated. Never mind that Monique was breathing down little Davy's neck. To really make this go away. Make it go away, David. Use your little voice. Use your little charisma. Bat your eyelashes. Whatever. Send money wherever. Compromise the court in whatever way. I'm sure he was tapping his little two proteges, you guys. Because, again, let's not forget who the Charles Manson of the group is. David didn't get his hands dirty. He just told, you do that. You do that. You get complicit. You do that, you do that, you do that. He always had better things to be doing for himself. And those better things included, going, water ski with Tom Cruise, his little buddy over there, and, all manner of, little outings that he did take it upon himself to take. And we would know that, you guys. David was, wanting to, make up with his childhood. He had the opportunity to do that. And his proteges weren't happy that, why is David in the ski with Tom and we are here literally stuck doing the most disgusting work in the world, like including but not limited to really coordinating on the wrongful death lawsuit. And in what world did these people have any shred of certificate to be doing any of this, you guys? So what type of services were they really providing? Oh, what L. Ron Hubbard taught them. How to break into places, how to blackmail people, all of those memos, right, Mike? Or wrong? Right or wrong? With Rathbun gone, Miscavige focused on the growth plans. 2004 was a paradigm shift. The point where everything changed, Davis says, where Mr. Miscavige was able to get to what he always wanted to get onto. Yes. David played the DVDs of Scientology, and now on cable TV, he outlined multi-million dollars international expansion programs in an open array of ideal orgs, each with courtrooms displays that explain Scientology to be to the uninitiated, facilities for the community outreach groups, and rooms for auditing the core counseling of Scientology. So you, Thomas C. Tobin, that really went with that fake pitch that these people gave you. In what world is counseling locking someone up against their will? Because that is the question, the billion-dollar question that needs to be answered by all American media that with a straight face pitches hotels where kids are locked up against their will, because L. Ron Hubbard did write up on the book to, never let us finish anything for ourselves, we couldn't finish anything on our own determinism, it said, you guys. So that's on your own determinism. It meant inside the hotel on your own will. So you couldn't have a will. The church revamped the website, improved the books, blah, 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 all the stuff. Oh my God, I just can't. The spokesman described the hands-on leader was working in video editing. Oh yeah, blah, 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 manuscripts, helping write scripts, staying up with the night to listen to everything from L. Ron Hubbard's 3,000 lectures and setting up a construction office to fit 66 buildings of the church. Oh yeah, Miscavige is just intense, church spokesman said, and he just never behaves in a degrading, crude, or violent way. Oh, good to know that. And he never altered church policy. The church brought up more than dozens of international managers to Clearwater to speak to the Times. All they said that they worked with Miscavige for years, and he spoke of his kindness and compassion. There you go, guys. He couldn't be more kind or compassionate, David. And then deny the defectors' allegations that Miscavige hit them. They're such lies, says Ray Midoff, the senior CS int, you guys, the top dog of the laundering of felonies. So good job for you, Thomas C. Tobin, that really tapped Ray Midoff, the top of the literal people that were laundering felonies, to talk about how, they're such lies. I've known him for 27 years, going back to how, besties all of these executives were, you guys. 27 years that they knew each other, were working in the same hotels, propping up the same scam, doing the same illegal activity, like, Jesse Prince told us, the crimes that everybody was committing that just became so normal. The best and then the worst. Oh my God, is this going to ever end? I think we're going to end this here. Woo! I think we had enough of Marty Rathbun and the truth. We literally, I think I give you guys the certificate without having to read the rest of that. No, I'm kidding. We will finish that, but there'll have to be a part 2 because I can't even believe that we've already really gotten into the weeds of a lot of this stuff. And I did want to check in with your guys at the chat because I want to see if there's any questions you might have or anything like that. Because I think it is all part of going through this, you guys. We have to ask questions if anything doesn't make sense. So if I said anything that didn't make sense to you guys, please, by all means, write it down. You can totally write it down and let's go over any questions. So, this is Tampa Bay Times, not St. Pete, so I would not think it's not the truth or not. Yeah, Jen, the Tampa Bay Times, the St. Pete Times got shut it off, and then the Tampa Bay Times bought it, and then, so there was like a merge. So it is confusing. It was originally the SP Times that we thought was really horrible and bad and all about SPs, but then it really did change to the Tampa Bay Times. So, you guys are super nice. I see all your nice comments. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. Yeah, you guys, you really have stuck this one out. We have here a couple of super chats. I grew up in another cult, but you are my brother. Well, thank you, Gene Strong. Thank you for being here. And yes, we do get each other for sure. Lori. Hi, Lori. Thank you so much for your super chat, Lori. I really appreciate it. And again, you guys, thank you so much for sticking this around, for really, continuing to ask ourselves these questions and, auditing the media, because we're going to continue auditing the living F out of Scientology in every single sense of the world. We're going to continue auditing the media. We're going to continue auditing their locations, and we're going to keep protesting until we get some answers. And just like that, we're going to be happy little campers, all of us. So hope all of you had a very wonderful weekend. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did sharing this with you guys and contextualizing so many things that, it's just crazy for me to read this now and find myself literally 15 years later and seeing how nothing has changed for a shred of kid inside of the hotels. So we will continue, pouring our hearts and souls into this matter so that we continue to raise awareness. We continue to contextualize what is already on the public record, the statements made, official statements from Scientology that have been put on the public record, that continue to contextualize and only bolsters what in the hell we've been talking about. So this is not just a campaign of like, let's just throw mud at the wall and come up with, blah, blah, blah. That's how they always made us feel, the executives, you guys. If we were complaining about anything, oh, you have such issues, you're so bad, you're so this. So the projection really has to stop. And it stops with us recognizing that the projection is irrelevant, because it's really what's at the other side of all of this dysfunction that needs to be unearthed. So The sooner we unearth what in the hell, the sooner we will have answers that make a shred of sense. So I'm glad that y'all are taking notes and keeping up, and, continue asking questions and continue, unearthing all of these things. So you guys have a great, great evening, and I will see you all really, really soon.